Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Became Guardian and Warrior of Hyoudou Family After His Father Abandoned Them movie. Before we start, please go support ecipionelafricano for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Issei is a male. Issei will have two sisters and his mother. Issei's father knows why he was cheating on his wife with other women. It's also that Issei, apart from Draig, brings another power. Well, another thing, there is no betrayal. I repeat, no betrayal. Prologue. Good explanation. Here Issei will not be perverted and will be very dedicated. Here you will have two sisters, Izami and Hyoudou. Issei's father had cheated on his wife with others and Issei had to step up as the head of the family. Here in this story, Akeno's mother is alive because she had awakened her fallen angel powers and joined Rias's entourage. There will be some surprises here. To get ahead, the relationship between Rias and Kiba is not very good. Besides, the Citri entourage are in love with Saji, but Saji is going to do something that will make them suffer. And the Phoenix Razor entourage, there is something that will make the king of this entourage become the enemy. I don't know if this is getting good or not. Vala wants to be with Akeno, but she doesn't want to. Akeno is already fine with her father, only he is traveling because of Odin and Azazel. So there will be several yokai villages. If there is Kuroka and Kaniko's village, it will be worse later in addition to other things, so we begin. Chapter 1: The Beginning. On a Friday morning, a celebration was held for Kwa Academy's anniversary earlier this year, but it just so happened that it was still a women's academy. Inside the academy we can see 3 chestnuts, some students of the academy, and one being the mother of the chestnuts. An 18-year-old Izumi Hyoudou. And Hyoudou, also 18 years old, being both twins. And the chestnut's mother, Miki Hyoudou. This is how several mothers and daughters were at the academy celebrating in the gym. The absence of the fathers was because they were at work. The activity was proceeding normally. The chestnut sisters were with their companions talking about the activities. It seems that it is time for our group, right? Isara, you're right. I hope my brother could come. You'll see that he will come, but concentrate on our song. Yes, you too, Izumi, you also have to prepare for the act that we have to perform. Izumi, you're right. Isara, and you Rias-sama also have to prepare yourself. Rias, you're right, aren't you, Akeno? Akeno, Era, you're right. Everyone was happy at the academy with their mothers. At the entrance there was a chestnut tree watching his mother in the distance, bringing a surprise for his sisters. If that chestnut was Issei Hyoudou. Issei, mother. Miki, son, I'm glad you came. I thought you wouldn't come. Issei, sorry, I just bought something for you. Miki, oh, thanks, son, I'm sure they'll like it. Issei, I arrived on time. Miki, of course. At the meeting were Rias's and Graphico's mothers, and Akeno's mother. I already explained why she's alive in the prologue. Everything was going smoothly at the academy, the events for the academy's anniversary celebration. Miki and Issei were waiting for the girls' events. But something was waiting for him because of fate. Something would happen. The act of raising the flag was going to happen, but an explosion had been heard at the gym door. Several armed men had entered. All these menacing guys had arrived at the academy. The gym had been taken over by a terrorist group. The mothers, together with their daughters, proceeded to retreat to where the stage was, leaving the back of the stage full of men. Apparently one had stayed in front of all the women present. Of the men, one named Henry approached. Henry, calm down, ladies, we're not going to take you, so you better cooperate. If we refuse, Henry, miss, we'll take them by fair means or foul. It's an order from our boss, and wow, what a loot we get here without being interrupted. Excuse me, no one interrupts us. Henry, wow, it looks like we're going to make more than when we sell the girls. Issei, it seems that you already know me. Henry, yes, but only your face. But the bosses have put a lot of money on your head. What a reward. Well, we will kill you and seize these delicacies. Issei, over my dead body, damned trafficker and rapist of women. Henry, yes, well, we won't take them and you won't be able to do anything. Issei, try it, and you'll be like the others who came. Henry, well, so you want to die, I won't stop you, so attack. Chestnut analyzed the situation, seeing that there were 20 men, including the damn Henry, who were preparing to fight, putting themselves in a fighting stance, having many women to protect. Well, this is the position that Issei had, just imagine Issei in this combat stance. And the fight began. No one wanted to get close because of the Chestnut's reputation, so 2 of them attacked it. Chestnut 1 came with the intention of attacking but was already ready for the attack. The men's bodies had been pushed from the area where Chestnut was, he wouldn't allow them to get up and catch the girls like reins. So it happened, the third one had grabbed him by the forearm and proceeded to put him in a key position, knocking him to the ground. The fourth was unlucky, he intended to hit him from below, but he bent down, grabbed his arms and legs, and pulled him down on his knees to break his spine. 3 more tried to stop him but it didn't work. Fatigue was already present, the fight with the 8th member left him exhausted. He seemed to specialize in hand-to-hand martial arts. He already knew that he was going to weaken him, as one had already hit him in the knee, leaving him almost limping, and he already knew where to aim the blow. But he still knocked him down, leaving him badly wounded, he was already tired. The next one caught him off guard, hitting him with a blow to the face that could have taken him out of concentration and left him without a reaction. Time seemed to go slowly. Chestnut couldn't react, but his thoughts returned when he saw his sisters crying and saying, Izumi and Isara, brother, don't give up, fight. Seeing his sisters' faces crying made him angry. He came to and saw that he was going to get hit with the same blow, so he grabbed his opponent's fist and used it against him, grabbing him from behind and dislocating his arm. There were fewer of them now, the other one didn't have a very good time, as he grabbed an angry chestnut tree and was going with the intention of hurting it. He could no longer defend himself from such combinations of blows, and Castano was already about to send him to sleep. And one of them couldn't take it anymore, he tried to kill him with knives, but he managed to deflect it, and he was able to finish him off with pure kicks. His energy was already taking its toll, and he had already been able to stop many who wanted to harm the women at the academy. Others could no longer get up from the beating the chestnut gave them, there were only a few left. 2 more fell for the chestnut. There were already 11 less, 9 left. 3 more fell with pure clean blows, hitting the ribs and legs were the points where Issei looked to be able to knock them out. 3 more fell to those, the blows were accurate to the opponent's chest and head. There were only 3 more left to finish this once and for all. He already looked tired, several asked to hit him on the back and some even stabbed him in the chest. But the scratches were deep and he was already losing some blood. The next one caught him tired and managed to stab him in the left arm with a knife. Pain found him but he stood firm, not wanting to give up and show weakness to the enemy. I already knew that I couldn't use my left arm much because of the stab wound where my arm connected to my torso. But as they say, there is a rematch. The other was tired, just like him, but he was ready to deliver the final blow, and this is what happened. While the guy was writhing in pain, another man was able to grab him by the body and take him to a corner of the academy gym, hitting his ribs. Before breaking them, he hit him on the head, leaving him unstable. He hit him several times on the head, leaving him lying down. The pain was present, it was unbearable, he couldn't take it anymore. But he remembered how they humiliated him, he didn't have to give up so close to finishing off this whole gang of bastards. It was no longer a man who controlled the body, the will took over, the will of that chestnut was very strong, his life would not matter if it was about his family. Henry, wow, look how you look after those fights you had, ha, that's bravery. Let's see how you do with me. Issei, haha, we'll see about that, already downcast. He gathered strength from wherever he could and the girls could only see 1 man left. The girls and mothers looked at the brunette's determination. He was already extremely hurt, but he still kept fighting. The fight began, the chestnut weak, but firm began to deliver accurate blows. Henry did not give up and also attacked the chestnut's vulnerable points, both the leg and the ribs. So the 2 of them hit each other for a while, both of them hitting to destroy or kill the target. With a precise blow, Chestnut hit Henry's jaw, ready to give the final blow. A bullet sound was heard. The bullet went straight to where the girls were, more where Rias and her mother were. The Chestnut's instinct reacted, and before he reached Rias, he faced him, thus hitting the Chestnut's left arm. A scream was heard. It was from that chestnut tree whose strength was no longer enough, only the will to kill or destroy those who wanted to destroy his family. That was his reason for continuing standing. Chestnut had gotten up with that bullet in his left shoulder, all wrapped up in his left hand. No sooner had he stopped than the ungrateful Henry had a gun pointed at his head. "Henry, I think you've reached the end." "Issei, I don't think so." Standing up, with his mother on her right side, he removed the bullet from his shoulder. "Henry, stay still, or I'll shoot." "Issei, I want to see that you understand." The groan of pain was heard as the bullet was removed. "Look, you won't be able to shoot me, because you're a coward." "Henry, we'll see about that." "Issei, go ahead, aim and shoot." He aimed to shoot when a noise was heard outside the place, which was taken advantage of by Chestnut, who knocked Henry down, took the gun from him and pointed it at the attacker's head. "Issei, let's see who's the coward now." "Henry, please don't kill me, I beg you." "Issei, look at you begging for your life, and how could you harm the lives of these girls? You're trash, but you messed with the wrong man's family. Now say goodbye to your life." "Henry, no, please." "Issei, goodbye." He was already about to shoot when the police came in. Someone had called the police. Everyone had come in and saw the men's dying bodies at the hands of the brown-haired man, and he was almost ready to shoot Henry. "Police, stop, you know about the crimes of these wretches." "Issei, but he has to pay." "Police, it's not worth it, leave the weapon and they will pay with jail." "Issei, okay." Issei had thrown the weapon and left the criminal free, but when he let go, the chestnut fell due to the loss of energy, and all that was seen was a body almost without energy lying on the ground. The police called an ambulance for the boy. The energy he had used for the battle had vanished. Another factor was the loss of blood also affected. The mother and sisters approached where Chestnut was crying because they did not want to let him go. "Sarah, I don't want to lose you, brother." Issei holding his sister's face, wiping her tears. "Issei, don't worry, I'll be fine. Just go home with Mom and in no time I'll be with you drinking hot chocolate with marshmallows the way you like them." "Sarah, it's okay." The ambulance crew put him on a stretcher and took him to a hospital. The police picked up the criminals, all beaten up and some with serious injuries. They were surprised to see that this young man alone had arrested 20 men. Everyone was scared and surprised by the brown-haired boy. Chapter 2 Proposal. Everyone at Qua Academy was surprised as well as scared that they would be kidnapped from their academy, and on the other hand, who was he? Who was that boy who defended them? That brave man who did not fear death for the well-being of his family. There were no questions about that chestnut tree who risked his life. In addition to the girls from the academy, other people from the supernatural world were wondering about that brunette, and even more so a redhead who was in a position where she had to look for new people in order to get out of her arranged engagement with her family. The chestnut-haired man's family just went home, as he had said, and the teachers and principal talked about why this had happened and explained to the police how the incident occurred, as well as how that young man defeated those 20 men alone. Classes had been suspended. The principal had spoken to the mothers and daughters before they left, and she told them not to worry about this since they had a plan to fix it. That intrigue left the director thinking that, in addition to the fact that in that academy there were only women and of course, but the traffickers of women were an easy target to attack, there was an option that could solve it. It was to convert the Qua Academy into a mixed academy regulating the entry of men to the campus so as not to affect the relationships in the academy, and also that if it was possible to speak with that brown-haired man to offer him entry to the Qua Academy to be able to have some relief but offering him something in return. Now the problem is how to find him, but the director had heard that he was related to the Hyoudou sisters. She just had to talk to them to bring her brother or relative to that academy. In the hospital, there was a chestnut man bandaged all over his torso and left arm. "Doctor, oh, so you again." Issei, "Yes, doctor, look at defending my family." Doctor, that's why I'm grateful that there are people who protect this city from the criminals here. But that could cost you your life, boy. Issei, I know that, but I don't care. If it's for the well-being of innocent people, I don't care. Doctor, what a good boy, you must feel very proud. Issei, yes, and doctor, when can I retire? Doctor, let me spend the night here. Tomorrow you can go and don't worry, you just need to rest for a few days and your wounds will heal. Issei, but I can recover at home, I'm not too happy with my family being left alone. Doctor, but… Issei, please, doctor. Doctor, okay, let me run some tests on you and you can go. Issei, okay. Elsewhere. There was a redhead with a redhead and a black-haired girl talking about that chestnut. Akeno, who would that young man be? Rias, apparently she may be related to the Hyoudou sisters. Akeno, you're right, the way they spoke to him seems like their family. But you know what? Rias, tell me Akeno. Akeno, you should talk to him so he can join the entourage because you don't have much time left until you know who comes. Rias, you're right, and I saw that Sona was keeping an eye on him. Akeno, you know she can hardly do it because of that Saji boyfriend. Rias, yes, but you know Akeno, that Saji boy doesn't give me a good feeling. Akeno, you know what? Well, let's see what the Academy does to solve the problem of these attacks. Rias, yes, if we destroy them with R we can destroy the gym. Akeno, yes, you're right. Rias, we need to rest before looking for that renegade. Akeno, yes. The two girls were talking but they didn't know that this boy would be something important in their lives. Regardless, it was already getting dark in Kwa City, and at the door of a house stood a chestnut tree with bandages. Issei, Oka-san, I'm here. The chestnut's mother was hugging her son, worried about what had happened in the morning. Mickey, son, thank God you're okay. How are you feeling? Issei, I'm fine, Mom and my sisters. Mickey, in her rooms. Issei, you can call them. Mickey, it's okay. Issei proceeds to sit on the living room sofa, somewhat tired and sore from the afternoon. Isara, brother. Issei, Isara, Izumi are fine. The two sisters rushed to their brother, worried about whether he was okay, as they were very concerned about him. Isara, how do you feel, brother? Issei, I'm fine. Izumi, thank you for saving us. Issei, you don't have to thank me, brothers, I would give anything for my family, especially you. Issei, well, let's leave that, let's eat. Isara, yes, brother, mother prepared your favorite food. Izumi, yes, meat cabatini with lots of cheese. Mickey, yes, son, let's eat. The four proceed to eat and go to rest. In the morning, the night was disappearing and the morning was appearing, giving the sun the beginning of a new day. The Hyoudou were finishing eating when there was a knock at the door. Mickey, I'll see who it is. The lady proceeds to open the door, who was a woman of average height with black hair. Mickey, yes, what do you offer? Excuse me, this is Mickey Hyoudo's house. Mickey, yes? I would like to talk to you. Mickey, excuse me, who are you? Laura, my name is Laura, Mrs. Hyoudou. I am the director of Kwa Academy and I am here to talk to you about school matters with your daughters. Mickey, okay, come in. The two ladies proceeded to go to the room where Chestnut was with his sisters. Isara, director, what are you doing here? Laura, I just came to propose something to you, if possible. Issei, and what would that be? Laura, and who are you, excuse me? Issei, excuse my manners, my name is Issei Hyoudou and I am their younger brother. Laura, seriously, I thought you were the oldest. Issei, well, he couldn't be the oldest, and what a proposal he brought us. Laura, well, I wanted to propose to you that you, young Hyoudou, enter the academy. It has already been proposed that the academy be coeducational, but with the capacity of male students being smaller to begin with, and how they socialize among the girls at the academy. Issei, that's very tempting, but because I, as you know, don't have many incomes. Laura, I am aware. That is why I propose that seeing the performance of your sisters, you have good performance and conduct, that they have a BEVA for this whole year, but with the condition that you enter. Mickey, they're really going to give them the scholarship. Laura, yes, we just need your son to come in, but not if they agree. Issei, I say yes so I can be close to my sisters. Laura, and what do you girls think? Isara, I say yes because we can spend more time with my brother. Izumi, I think the same. Laura, and you, Mrs. Mickey, what do you think? Mickey, it's good since they can live together more in the school area. Laura, well, it's decided, you young Hyoudou will enter the Core Academy next week. Issei, okay. Laura, Hyoudo's sisters, classes start next week due to academy issues. Isara and Izumi, okay. Laura, if I leave any further. The director had retired, she had already managed to get that young man into the academy. Well, she had a good opinion of that young man, and knowing his history she would have co-educated the academy a long time ago, but she is happy that those brothers were in the same academy, and not just seeing each other at night. Chapter 3: The Beginning. The days had arrived, they had reported the entry of male students by decision of the director. Everyone was amazed, including the chestnut-haired sisters, and they were all wanted to thank the boy who seemed to know her. And they also asked why he was okay and would enter that academy. The girls of the supernatural world signed up the 2 companions for their entourage. For Rias, it was to be able to get her hair into school to see if she had him under control, since a few years ago he disappeared very often. On the part of Sona Citri, she will enroll her boyfriend and pawn of her retinue, in addition to the fact that her retinue was in love with him except for her queen who had fallen in love with Rias's knight, in addition to the fact that, like Rias, she had problems with him since he often disappeared. And for Rias, it is seeing the opportunity to look for a member for her entourage because her commitment to Razor Phoenix was approaching. The day of the boys' entrance arrived. In the distance you could see 2 brunettes and a chestnut-haired man walking to the academy. Isara, that's great, brother, now we can attend the same school. Izumi, yes, you are right. Issei, well, at least we got benefits when we entered. Isara, yes, but why did he have that interest in you? Izumi, maybe he was among us when they attacked us. Issei, maybe, well, I hope it arrives, but I don't know what would have happened. Isara, yes, but I'm worried that something might have happened to you. Issei, don't worry, you know I'll always be with you. Well, the chestnut trees had entered the academy where they announced the entry of the male students and took advantage of the opportunity to resume the celebration activities. But one event impressed everyone. And now Isara Hyoudo's act. He had gone up on stage with his brother who asked him for help with the guitar. Isara, well, I'll sing a song. Isara. Oh my crybaby, crybaby in sky blue, oh my crybaby in sky blue, and even if life costs me crybaby, I will not stop loving you, I will not stop loving you. I climbed the tallest pine tree, crybaby, to see if I could spot you. I climbed the tallest pine tree, crybaby, to see if I could spot you. As the pine was a tender crybaby, when it saw me cry it cried. As the pine was a tender crybaby, when it saw me cry it cried. The pain in the one that is not a crying pain is all pain for me. The pain in the one that is not a crying pain is all pain for me. Yesterday I cried to see you and I cried because I saw you. Yesterday I cried to see you and I cried because I saw you. He looked at his brother and told him to sing. Oh my crybaby in sky blue. Issei and Isara. Oh my crybaby in sky blue, and even if life costs me crybaby, I won't stop loving you, I won't stop loving you. Issei. Even if life costs me, crybaby, I won't stop loving you, I won't stop loving you, I won't stop loving you, I. Everyone was clapping at the voices and the song they were singing. They all congratulated the duet. Applause please. Boys, another one, another one. Girls, another. What do they say? Isara, what are you saying, brother? Issei, yes, but I sing alone, accompanied by another sister guitar. Let's challenge the kids, a song that represents sadness. Issei, okay, come on sister, 1, 2 and. The song is heard with just guitar. Over the distant mountain. A rider is riding. He wanders alone in the world, wishing for death. He has a wound on his chest. He goes with his soul broken. He would like to lose his life and be reunited with his beloved. He loved her more than his life and lost her forever. That's why he carries a wound, that's why he seeks death. With his guitar singing. He spends whole nights crying, man and guitar. In the light of the stars. Then he disappears into the night. Although the night is very beautiful. He is asking God to take him with her. He loved her more than that life, and he lost her forever. That is why he carries a wound, that is why he seeks death. That's why he has a wound, that's why he seeks death. Everyone had applauded because that song touched their hearts, but for a chestnut tree that song meant much more. They had gone through the entire festival and had already presented in class. Everything was calm, there wasn't much to say, since many were after the now-named Prince of Hyoudou. The prince had all the girls excited about him, but there were others who were not interested in him, such as the Hyoudou twins who were eating with their sister, talking about what happened with the festival. That didn't sit well with him, he wanted everyone to be with him. Kiba, hello ladies, may I be with you? Isara, no, because we are with my brother. Issei, how are you? Issei had stood in an intimidating manner towards the prince, his hands in his pockets. Kiba, if you'll excuse me, Miss Izumi, would you allow me to walk with you? Izumi, no, I'm with my brother. Kiba, but... Issei, he told you no, so it's better because it's better not to bother my sisters. Kiba, okay, I'm leaving. Kiba had withdrawn, leaving annoyed. He had to make those girls fall under his spell, but he had to do it later, he had to make other plans with an organization. Issei didn't have a good feeling about that boy. Classes had already finished, the siblings went straight home with their mother. They had eaten, the girls went up to their room and Chestnut went out to work, at a delivery and construction company. He was lucky to find that part-time job and he had already sorted out the night job. Now he was thinking about his night job. The poor boy was loading bags of cement and gravel onto a truck to take it to the company's distributor. The good thing is that she made that effort for a very good salary, and that would help her a lot to save on her sister's university tuition. Leaving the construction site, he rode his bicycle in his suit for night work. When suddenly I hear loud bangs in an abandoned house there. I was about to leave when I heard girls screaming inside. Meanwhile he was approaching inside. Rias, Akeno fires the beams to destroy it. Akeno, yes. Akeno launched the beam but the monster dodged and threw Akeno against the wall, and before they could react the monster threw Rias and Kaneko against the wall where Akeno was. They no longer had any energy, they had asked for something to happen that would save them. They were about to die when a brown-haired man came out with a handkerchief covering his face up to his nose, leaving only his eyes visible. Issei, ladies, get out of here, I'll take care of it. Rias looked at those determined honey-colored eyes, the hand he extended to her, and when she grabbed it, that small contact filled her with emotion but she didn't know what it was, until a voice pulled her out of her thoughts. Issei, miss, please get out of here, this is very dangerous for beautiful girls. That comment made those girls blush, as Chestnut didn't know who he was. They had already moved away a little when Chestnut took a green dagger out of his back pocket. And he launched himself at the monster. The fight was close, both had landed good blows to the opponent, but none of them were serious to the brown-haired man. Thinking that he had to end this now otherwise he would be too late for work, he tricked the monster by making a feint. Going to the back and jumping he stabbed the dagger into the monster's head, killing it instantly. With a few scratches he left alone, telling the girls, Issei, take care and don't tell anyone about this. Giving him a smile behind the handkerchief. Rias, who are you? Issei, let's just say that I'm just someone who doesn't like innocent people getting hurt, much less beautiful girls who hang around here, so see you. The boy ran away quickly, leaving only blood from the scratch caused by the monster. Akeno, who could that boy be? Rias, I don't know, but thank you for saving us. They were left wondering who he was, those eyes, those brave eyes, he would never forget, and he would find out whose eyes they were. Unaware that those eyes will define the destiny not only of her but of many others and will decide the fate of the supernatural world, and the world of each of them. Chapter 4 I Became a Demon. The night had passed, the incident that had happened not long ago, those thoughts had not been able to leave his mind. The hard work of the night was over, tiredness had taken over, the night was falling in the odious darkness of dawn, the cold nights of January accompanied him. Something that caught his attention was that not long ago he had learned about the supernatural. A year and a half ago, an elderly man with raven wings was trying to attack a family of mother and daughters. He had taken out his knife, he prepared for combat, that man realized. A spear had come out of his hands, but that spear gave off light. The chestnut-haired man was caught off guard. He had thrown that spear, but luckily it only grazed his shoulder. Something that brought him back to his senses for that fight was the women's cries. That awakened his subconscious and he attacked that being. He was agile but no more than him. He had made a deception. Supposedly he had slipped, and when the fallen angel approached, he launched himself at him. With his knife he stabbed him in the chest and then stabbed him in the throat, leaving him bleeding to death in that place. Leaving the family behind and going somewhere else. After remembering that encounter, it confused him a little since that time more of those supernatural beings that came to torment people or cause disorder. Many or some had already known about him, and as always the chestnut stained himself with blood for the well-being of his family, and the innocent people with whom these beings bothered them. This fact that they knew about him, the people of the supernatural, should know it because later in the plot it will be important, so take it into account. Without further ado, let's continue. The full moon lit the chestnut tree's path, and his family depended on him. He couldn't afford to rest or fail to improve in his training. Well, all that had happened, or so I thought. Tomorrow, all that would change. The next morning. It was already dawn, people were already going about their daily activities. At that moment, a chestnut tree and 2 chestnut trees were heading to the academy, unaware that this place could be the beginning of a new life. Chestnut was about to finish his class when Issei, how tired, yesterday they really went all out. Well, the good thing is that the construction company gave me 2 days off. I'll take advantage of it to go out with the girls to see if they want to go for a walk. He was thinking when someone pulled him out of his thoughts. Kaneko, you are Issei Hyoudou. Issei turned to look at the white-haired girl with a smile. That smile had been seen, not only by Kaneko but by the others, but they didn't know where from. Kaneko, Rias senpai calls him, please come. Everyone was confused that the brunette was called one of the one Samus of the academy. Issei, okay, let's go. Issei and Kaneko left for the occult club. While in the occult club, the 2 Onisamas were talking about that chestnut tree. Akeno, Rias, are you sure it's that boy? Rias, yes, and I trust that he is, and if not, too. Rias, seeing that brown-haired man with those eyes, knew that she had to tell him to join her entourage, but also for another reason. Akeno, well, let's wait for the 2 of them to come, and by the way, where is Kiba? Rias, I don't know, yesterday he told me he was going for a contract and that he wouldn't be back for a week. Akeno, you know, Rias, Kiba makes me distrustful. Rias, yes, and by the way, I found out that that dangerous boy is still harassing you. Akeno, oh okay, if he's harassing me, he already said that I didn't want anything to do with him, I'm fed up with him. The 2 were thinking when Kaneko, Rias senpai, I already brought it. At that moment, a brown-haired man had appeared behind the white-haired woman. Issei, good afternoon. Rias, sit down. Issei, can I call you that? Issei, yes, with your permission I will sit down. He proceeds to sit on an armchair, and in front of him were Akeno and next to him Kaneko. Rias, well, let me introduce myself. I am Rias Gremory. Akeno, I am Akeno Himejima. Kaneko, I am Kaneko Tujo. Issei, well, my name is Issei Hyoudou, and what did you want to ask me if it's not too much trouble? Rias, well, I wanted to ask you two things. Issei, okay. Rias, the first is if you want to join our club. Issei, well, it would be fine. I would just be absent for a bit due to things in my life. That would be fine. Issei had accepted why his sisters insisted on it so he wouldn't be alone, and had told him that it was an exclusive club or something like that. Issei, and I can also ask or suggest something. Rias, okay, but what would it be? Issei, if I could ask for my sisters to be able to enter this club, well, because their clubs don't get along very well. Rias, yes, I don't see the problem with having other members. Issei, great, well, I'll tell you, and what was the other matter? Rias, well, you see, Issei, you believe in the supernatural. That question struck the chestnut tree like a bolt of lightning, generating several questions such as, why did they want to know about this? Or, why do they want to know about this? Well, I had to tell it. Issei, yes, I believe in the supernatural, and with my own eyes I have seen people who, as they say in historical books, are called fallen angels. Rias, that's good to know, because I wanted to know if you want to be a demon. Issei, how? Rias, if you want to be part of my retinue of demons. Rias takes out her demon wings as do Akeno and Kaneko. The brown-haired boy was shocked by such a revelation. He knew they wanted to kill him, but he never thought he would be part of the demons. Issei, I don't know what to say, and how to say it took me by surprise. Rias, you're right, sorry, but you accept. Issei, I don't know, I have to think about that decision. Rias, I know, but I can tell you what you would get by being a demon. I see, I would get that. Rias, you would obtain riches, women, fame, and power. When he heard wealth and power, he only cared that if he got wealth he could support his family and power to defend it. He wouldn't care if it was what he got for his family. Issei, well, I'll think about it, and excuse me, I'm leaving. Rias approached the chestnut tree when Issei, careful. Suddenly, a spear of light had been shot from the window, catching the redhead and those in her entourage off guard. Issei had taken the redhead by the waist, and using it as a shield, the spear had pierced her stomach, and with one hand he had grabbed her. Fallen, dies unfortunate. Rias, you're going to pay for it, Fallen. The chestnut had fallen into the wood of the occult club. Rias, Issei, hold on. Issei, please laugh, Sama. I hope you tell my family about this attack on AA. The chestnut was already on the verge of fainting. Rias, calm down, Issei, I won't let you die here. Those were the last words he heard before he fainted. Chapter 5: The Fallen Angel. In the morning, Qua found a chestnut lying in bed knowing what had happened. Just like in the original story, Reincarnation won't be with Issei. I have something else prepared for her in the future, just so you keep it in mind. After he had enlisted, he felt that his body had changed, but what worried him was that they had not untied the bandages on his right arm that worried him. But after getting up, he went down with his sisters and mother. After that, the chestnut along with his sisters walked again towards the academy, only this time he felt strange, since on the way to school, he could hear conversations in the distance. In addition to that, senses and reflexes were sharp, something that his sisters noticed. Izumi, brother, are you okay? Issei, yes, I'm fine, and right now that we're talking, I have a surprise for you. Isara, what a surprise you have for us. Izumi, yes, which one? Issei, do you remember that you told me before we started studying that there was an exclusive club? Isara, yes, Rias Gremries, from the occult club. Issei, yes, guess what? Izumi, what? Issei, that you will be part of that club. Isara, seriously. Izumi, he's not joking with us. Issei, I swear, yesterday they invited me and I asked Rias if I could integrate them into the club and she said yes. The two of them were very happy about the entrance to that club. Well, they had arrived at school when at one point there was a guy who was bothering some girls. Will you go with me? Girl, no. Will you go with me by fair means or foul? The girl refused to go when. Then he'll see that you'll leave by force. The boy was going to hit him when. Issei, don't you know that women are not touched even with a rose petal? Chestnut had grabbed the guy's wrist, causing pain from the squeeze. The guy was going to hit him when Chestnut ducked down, landing 2 blows to the stomach area and then throwing a right hook to knock him out on the floor. Issei, you're okay. Girl, yes. Issei, this will stay between us. He just gave her a smile, leaving the girl blushing. Girl, what's your name? Issei, for you, just a good friend, just a good friend. Issei had retreated towards his class. Classes had gone normally until the time of dismissal. Issei had told his sisters to wait a while before entering the club as well as talk a little with the president. Issei, President, may I speak to you? Rias, yes. Issei, I just wanted to ask you something about yesterday. Rias, tell me. Issei, I don't know if I'm crazy, but yesterday I was murdered, and today I feel like nothing had happened, plus my body feels strange. Rias, now what do you mean, Issei? Issei, tell me. Rias, yesterday because you saved my life, to save you I had to turn you into a demon, and now you are one of my members. That information flashed through the brown-haired boy's mind, who already had some idea about it but wouldn't think it was real. But now the reason was how to explain to his sisters what had happened, and the other reason was the secret he had in his bandaged arm, how he would respond to that. Well, on the other hand, he had to do everything possible to lead his triple life at this moment, and wait for her appearance. Issei, then I am a demon. Rias, yes. He was already calming down, but that restlessness still remained. Issei, I also wanted to ask you if it was true that my sisters were here. Rias, that's right with that. Issei, nothing, just that I had already told them that they could belong to this club. Rias, bring your sisters, no problem, maybe they can help us, and I really like them. She said it with a smile, since her sisters had told her that they got along very well, and that they seemed to be friends. Issei, okay, President, I'm leaving. I'm going to get my sisters. Rias, you may leave. Issei had been looking for his sisters, but he felt somewhat uncomfortable when that blonde boy, who was known at school as the Prince of Qu, passed by him. Something didn't please her about him. Well, he had told his sisters that they could go to the club, which was in the old academy building. Bruno, after they had all met and introduced themselves, and since he's a boy, he always wanted to show off with his sisters, would have accepted if it weren't for the fact that the guy's gaze wasn't very convincing that he was doing something good. Rias and the others got along well with her sister, but as always she had to go to work for the well-being of her family, since tomorrow she would have to pay attention to what she had to do as her jobs as a demon. He had left in the oidish darkness of dawn. The cold night accompanied the loneliness of the chestnut tree. On a bridge where he walked, the problems had already appeared, but now he will face them, and sooner or later he should tell his sister. When he was deep in thought, someone pulled him out of his thoughts. Ito, excuse me, you are Hyoudou Issei? Issei didn't know what the question was about, and who was asking that, and why he would be out at this time of night. Issei, yes, that's me. Reincarnation, I was wondering if you have a girlfriend. What was the point of that question? I hadn't heard that word in many years, but strangely enough, that word hurt. It felt like a stab in my heart. But he wouldn't be fooled either. That trap was used, and he stumbled on it, and wouldn't fall again. As an old song said, the years have taught me nothing, I always fall into the same mistakes. This time I would have to make a strategic move. Issei, yes, I have a girlfriend. The tone in which she said it to someone who was very attentive made her say it with reluctance. But to that girl with hair as black as the night itself she seemed convinced. Reincarnation, I thought not. Issei, yes. Reincarnation, could you show me the place? I'm new. Issei, okay. He wouldn't refuse to do someone a favor, but those words hurt. For him, words were sealed with a padlock in his weak heart, the words love and girlfriend. Those words caused immense pain to the brown-haired boy, which he continues to feel to this day. Well, that girl told him to meet at that bridge where they were. Like every day, the Hyoudou family spent time together as usual, talking about school matters. Today, they were also telling his mother about his joining the occult club and how they had been treated. This also made him think that he was now a demon, as well as the walk with that young woman. Well, that was to leave it for the next day. Well, the night had disappeared, and now a new day in the land of the rising sun, and in the city. The chestnut tree only remembered that girl who asked him out. In his time and one of his lives he has seen several uniforms, but never one like that. Well, maybe it was a new school, I would say, without knowing that that girl would be a problem not only that time but later on. The Hyoudou brothers went straight to the academy when Reincarnation, hello Issei. Issei, good morning Yuma. Reincarnation, who are those women you have by your side? Issei, they are my sisters. Girls say hello. Isara, hello, my name is Isara Hyoudou. Izumi, and my name is Izumi Hyoudou. Both, nice to meet you. Just like King, Issei Yuma greets politely. Reincarnation, Issei, do you remember what we said, Issei? Issei, yes. Reincarnation, I'll wait for you on the bridge at 2 p.m. Issei, okay, I'll be there. Reincarnation, then I'm leaving, goodbye Issei, Isara and Izumi. The girl had said goodbye with a smile, but for the brunettes something didn't seem strange about that woman. That smile made them suspicious. It was true that her brother was very helpful and kind, but they knew that memory, they knew that situation that happened so many years ago, and that made them suspicious of that smile. Well, they had arrived at the academy, and they went in search of their classrooms, but those girls had a plan, to make sure that girl didn't hurt her sister. But they would discover that after classes, and they would also know what their brother had really become. Well, the classes had ended and the chestnut had headed to his destination. Just like his sisters, they left a little later to be able to observe him from afar and make sure he was okay, without knowing that behind them were also following the chestnut. Well, the journey of the chestnut tree next to the black-haired girl. It had already gotten dark and Chestnut wanted to leave, but not before he saw a beautiful park. Issei, well Yuma, I'll leave you here, I have to go back, I hope you enjoyed the walk. Reincarnation, yes I liked it, but I wanted to ask you something, you would die for me. Issei, could you repeat the question, I didn't hear well. Yuma, you would die for me. At that point Yuma, or Reincarnation, had become a fallen angel. Issei, I didn't think you were a fallen angel. Reincarnation, yes, and my real name is Reincarnation. Issei, and what do you want from me, or why do you want to kill me? Reincarnation, blame the god who put that sacred grad on you, and also blame your girlfriend for not letting you be with me, so it would be better to kill you before she leaves you with that woman. Reincarnation created a spear of light and was about to kill when a voice was heard saying no. No. Reincarnation, who said that? Isara, please don't kill him. Izumi, please don't kill my brother. The two sisters had tears in their eyes. Reincarnation, I don't care about your words, since he didn't want to be my boyfriend so he has to die. But so you don't suffer you will die. Reincarnation had thrown the light directly at the Hyoudou sisters, and the brunettes had only just closed their eyes when they felt something liquid on their faces. It was liquid, the chestnut's blood, when the spear pierced his body from his back to his chest, interposing himself in the impact of the spear, using his body as a shield. Issei, I hope you are well, my sweet little sisters. These were his last words as he fell to the ground, held by his sisters, who were half alive in their arms. Isara and Izumi, brother. The two had screamed because they were losing their brother, but someone brought her out of those thoughts. Reincarnation, apparently she sacrificed herself for you, although it wasn't worth it. Preparing another light attack when Isara, we won't let you speak ill of him. Izumi, I hope you shut that damn mouth of yours before you regret it. Reincarnation, or else what? Both, you will pay dearly for it. Both had tears and rage and fury awakening their powers. Isara had taken out a blue gauntlet and a sword, while Izumi had taken out a pink bow. I had taken out the two full of rage. Reincarnation, but what? Izumi, now you will pay for what you did to my brother. Izumi shot an arrow at the fallen angel just as Reincarnation shot the spear of light. Upon impact, Izumi's arrow split the light spear in half, removing a piece of its wing as it fell. While writhing in pain, Isara was going to attack. Isara, now it's my turn. Isara attacked with her water-edged sword. The fall was about to be hit, only to move away just as her sister had flown away, leaving the fall with 2 cuts on its wings writhing in pain, and with that she got angry and the sisters no longer had any energy, so they were at her mercy. But something happened. From behind he had launched a power of destruction, almost hitting the black-haired girl. When they saw her, she was the president of the occult club along with the vice president and the club's mascot. Chapter 6: Revelation to the girls and the arrival of the nun. I would also like to tell you to give him your little star and follow this humble servant who will be grateful. Well, let's continue. That cold night, a bloody chestnut tree was leaning against a tree, almost fainting. But something didn't let him leave that world or similar lake. Something said he had to stay there. He knew that very well, since many times death did not want to take him. To tell the truth, he escaped from the clutches of death. But some girls weren't going to give him the pleasure of taking his brother away. Isara, brother, don't go. Izumi, please. Rias, don't worry, we'll fix him right now. The Hyoudou sisters and the Gremry entourage teleported via a magic circle, and the girls were surprised at how they teleported. Isara, you will recover, Rias-sama. Rias, don't worry, Isara, your brother will recover. Rias placed her hands on the brown-haired boy's wound using some magic to heal it. The girls were surprised by such an action and also by what had happened a while ago. Isara, my brother will be fine. Rias, don't worry, Isara. We'll explain everything tomorrow. You just have to rest. Isara, it's okay. Rias and the Hyoudou sisters went through a magic circle to the chestnut's room, leaving him lying down to rest. The two said goodbye to Rias and went to rest, thinking about how everything that happened had happened a while ago, and also why they had those weapons, and why that girl had those wings. They couldn't stop thinking about that. The next morning, Chestnut had woken up seeing his body from the torso up was naked and only had a scar in the stomach area, without his sisters realizing. Isara and Izumi, brother, I'm so relieved you're okay. Issei, if there is no need to worry. Isara, it's not like there's anything to worry about, you almost died yesterday. Izumi, exactly, and why did that girl want to kill you? Issei, apparently I have a power inside me apart from. Issei stayed for a while thinking about that part. He knew that it could be harmful to him, but he had to keep it hidden, and in case something very dangerous happened he would have to bring it out. Isara, what's wrong, brother? Issei, nothing, today I have to explain something to you. Izumi, what a brother. Issei, about what happened yesterday, I want to explain to you. Isara, it's okay. Issei, well, let's eat at the academy now. The two, it's fine. The Hyoudou sisters went with their brother to the academy so that after class they could see what would happen. They had passed them, it was already time to leave, and they headed to the occult club. In the occult club there are Rias Gremry, Akeno Himejima and Kaneko Tujo. Issei, excuse me, President, we came to talk. Rias, perfect, I was going to send for them too. Issei, well, we're here, come in, girls. Isara, excuse me. Izumi, excuse me. The two girls had sat on an armchair between their sisters. On the opposite armchair were Akeno and Kaneko. Isara, and we came to talk. Izumi, I hope they explain what happened yesterday to us. Rias, yes, to make it short, we are supernatural, more exactly demons, just like your brother. Those words surprised the chestnuts that their brother was no longer human, but rather a demon. Rias, besides, you also had a sacred gear. Isara, how? Izumi, what are they? Akeno, these are powers granted to some humans. It is believed that several important people throughout history have possessed these powers. Rias, and sometimes they get powers great enough to defeat angels and demons like you. The three of us. Rias, yesterday Isara and Izumi saw you. You can extend your hand towards them, and you can close your eyes and visualize the most powerful image you can. Both, yes. The two of them did what you laughed, and raised your hand. From Isara's hand he had taken out a sky blue gauntlet with a sword of the same color. And from Izumi's hand she had taken out a pink bow, and on her waist a bag with arrows of the same color had appeared. These are the sacred grad. Rias, that's right, yours is Isara. She is called the Spirit of the Seas. It is said that she can control the waters, and when she reaches a certain point she can summon a creature from the seas and oceans. Before, some people wrote to me that it was made of ice. It is not made of water, but I will use those names for the sacred of a girl who will be named later. Isara, seriously. Izumi, what about me? Rias, yours Izumi is the bow of fire. Translation: the bow of fire. Your bow is of fire and magic type. The arrows you have the ability to seriously injure any supernatural being with just a scratch. Like Isara at a certain time can summon a magician. If I say it is like Rias's familiar, and that magician will bring a spirit or creature of fire and magic. Izumi, wow, how wonderful. Issei, and excuse me, President, you also said that I had it too. Can I know if it's also like my sister's? Rias, I don't know, why don't you try? Issei, okay. Issei did the same and a red gauntlet appeared from his arm. Issei, wow, that's it. Rias, well, it seems so, that you are special, Issei. Issei, why, President? Rias, yes, because that sacred grad is not only a twice critical, it can increase the powers of its bearer immeasurably for 10 seconds, to the point of even destroying a god. It is one of the 13 Longinus gear, the Scarlet Imperator's glove, boosted gear. Issei, really? Isara, apparently my brother is quite powerful. Izumi, yes. Rias, I hope we can get along from now on, knowing about the supernatural. Isara, yes, I hope so, and don't worry, Sama, we're not going to tell anything. Izumi, if you laugh, Sama, we won't tell anything. Rias, okay, Issei, you have to go to this address to make a contract and distribute pamphlets. Maybe you can help your brother. Both, of course. Issei, well, I'm leaving, President. Sisters, I hope you get along well after the news. Isara, yes, what matters to us is that you are okay. Izumi, yes, even though you are no longer human. Issei had left the club while his brothers and those from the occult club were talking about things regarding the new situation that the Hyoudou brothers were facing. After that, Chestnut was passing by a park near the academy where he had to walk to his job at the construction company. In the park he found a blonde girl dressed as a nun. Asia, ouch, I fell. Issei, it's okay, sister. Asia, yes, and excuse me, what is your name? Issei, my name is Issei Hyoudou, but my friends call me Issei. Asia, so then it's a pleasure to meet you, Issei-san. My name is Asia Argento, but my acquaintances just call me Asia. Issei, it's a pleasure, Asia. What brings you to this city? Asia, I came to visit some old classmates and the church. Issei, yeah, well, if you want, I'll take you to the church that's in this city. Asia, thank you, Issei-san. Issei, it's okay, sister. Asia, yes, but please just call me Asia. Issei, it's okay, Asia. Asia, thank you. Walking through the city, they came to the city church. Issei, well, Asia, here is the church. Asia, yes, thank you. I hope you can visit me or go. Issei, maybe we'll see you. Asia, yes, see you later. Arriving at nightfall, he had left in the darkness of dawn. The cold night accompanied the loneliness of the chestnut tree, the revelation of the supernatural to both him and his sisters, in addition to having a powerful sacred gear, even more problems. Knowing this, the problems and the persecutions of the bandits towards him to kill him would be more frequent, in addition to the fact that before he hid very well the other thing he had, his right arm, something that they knew very little about. Only his sisters knew for a brief while. But to not prolong things, he was surprised that his sister could also have those artifacts, and also quite powerful ones. In addition to that, if they needed help with the power, now is the time to pass some of his knowledge to his brothers so that they can activate and improve their forces. Issei, well, now to do Rias-senpai's order. Issei was with a handkerchief covering his face, leaving only his eyes visible. Issei, good, here is the demon who requested it. It can't be how many corpses. Freed boy, we have a dirty demon here. Issei, Wait, who are you? Fried, let me introduce myself. My name is Fried Surson, a young priest who is part of a certain exorcist organization. That's someone who is not under like a demon. Issei, you are a priest. Fried, if I'm going to eliminate you now. Taking out a sword and pistol. Issei, we'll see about that. Issei had taken out a green dagger. The two exchanged blows between the sword and the dagger, and Issei dodged Fred's light bullets. At one point he got distracted and grazed the brown-haired boy's left hand, causing him to scream a little in pain, but that was it. Asia, what is this? Fried, to my assistant. Asia, what are you doing? Fried, my job, which is to eliminate this demon. Asia, you are a demon. Issei, yes, I am a demon. I became a demon to save my family's life, and I don't want this crazy guy to do something with a beautiful girl. Asia was surprised and blushed at these words, but who was that demon boy? She didn't care and stood between him and Fried. Fried, damn traitor. Attack her with the lightsaber when. Issei, don't you dare touch her. Taking Issei by the wrist of Fried and with the other putting Asia behind him. Asia, no. Issei, don't worry, I won't let them hurt you. And how much will you pay for trying to hurt this girl? Issei found himself fart. He launched himself at Fried first. He placed himself behind him, hitting him on the back, and taking the gun from his hand, weapons that he dropped his sword, and wanted to face Issei hand to hand. Bad idea. Chestnut lashed out with a flurry of blows against the priest's body, leaving him badly wounded, and with each blow to his torso his bones could be heard crunching. Fried, damn ma. He writhed in pain from the blows the brown-haired man gave him. The chestnut took the priest's sword and pistol. As he took Asia away he gave Fried a murderous look. Issei, I hope he doesn't make you hurt again, or else I promise that in the next meeting you won't get a direct pass to hell itself. This left Asia blushing and Fried a little scared, and Chestnut left with Asia. Chapter 7: The Family and the Meeting with the Phoenix. Asia was at the Chestnut's house last night, leaving something that the girls accepted, and her mother told them that she was alone and new to this city, in addition to being attacked at this time of night. As soon as Chestnut left her at home, he went to work while the girls took care of Asia. Asia, thank you. Isara, no need to. Izara, yes, what's your name? Asia, my name is Asia Argento, nice to meet you. Isara, likewise, my name is Isara Hyoudou. Izumi, my name is Izumi Hyoudou, nice to meet you Asia. Isara, speaking of this, what happened? Asia, he rescued me from a crazy priest. Izumi, so you know about the supernatural world. Asia, that's right. Isara, well, stay with us and tomorrow we'll talk to my brother. In the meantime, let's go get something to eat. Asia, thank you. Well, the next morning had arrived. The three had arrived at the academy after classes and brought Asia to the occult club to reincarnate her as a demon for her twilight healing. Something that Asia accepted thanks to the fact that he saved her. He was a demon and was the brother of the Chestnuts. And so he became a demon, being Rias Gremry's Bishop Peace. This is how the days passed at Ko Academy, since Asia decided to stay at the Hyoudou family's house since she appreciated the young Hyoudou since she felt safe when he saved her and was in his arms. It was an afternoon of the occult club since that day they would talk. Issei, what did you want to talk to us about, Butcho? Isara, yes, Rias, senpai, I wanted to talk to you. Rias, what are they going to get their family member from? Izumi, what is it for? Rias, the familiar is used to send and receive information. Issei, that's what it was. Rias, well, you see. Not finishing when the student council came in. Rias, I wonder what you're doing here. Sona, well, we both acquired new members, so I thought about introducing them. The student council members had arrived along with a blonde boy. All of them were happy, but on that boy's face there was annoyance or malice in the expression, something that the brown-haired boy didn't like. But anyway, that was all he meant when he noticed her. He changed to a smile, not to attack her at all. With the other boy from the occult club, Kiba Hyoudou, he knew that no matter how unnoticed he was, he knew that they were up to no good. Rias, okay, he is Issei's pawn and my bishop is Asia Argento. Issei, nice to meet you Sona Citri, and also that boy over there didn't recently join the student council. Sona, yes, he is my pawn, Saji Genshiro and my boyfriend and the girls too. They were all blushing noticeably, all except for the one in their group who was in love with Kiba. Issei, apparently we are similar. Saji, saying that I'm similar to a new demon, ha, my pride has been hurt. Issei, what did you say? Saji, oh you want to fight, even though I'm a beginner for me they used 4 pawn pieces. Sona, enough Saji if you want to know, they used 8 pieces for it. Saji, really? Sona, yes, excuse me Hyoudou-kun, Argento-san, I hope we get along Saji. Saji, it's okay. Saji, nice to meet you. Asia, it's a pleasure to meet you. Saji, the pleasure is mine, I am honored to meet a girl as beautiful as you. Issei, Saji-kun, it's also a pleasure to meet you, I hope we don't get along. As he tightened his grip. Saji, ha, I hope so. Both of them had a cold look on their faces when shaking hands, a look that looked unfriendly, as they would say. Well, to avoid making it longer, let's summarize the tennis game and the dodgeball game so as not to make the cap bigger. Well, let's continue the story. The occult club members won and the student council members withdrew. Well, that's how it all happened. In short, it was that Asia and Issei, in addition to Rias, took the Hyoudou sisters because it would be helpful to have a relative. In case something happened, that relative would inform her or her brother if necessary. Asia got Razor, the Hyoudou sisters found 2 relatives. Isara had found a familiar, a lion that controlled water and ice magic, and its familiar would help with her water magic control and the powers of the sacred gear. Instead, Izumi had found a familiar who is very useful to her. It was a Bengal tiger. The use was that it immunized magical reserves and more so if they were of a magical or fire style. The chestnut was looking for his when he saw a dragon being attacked. She was badly wounded and in the distance the roars of another dragon could be heard. Little by little he moved the dragon to a safe place. After that they found a dragon. It was a dragon about 20 meters long, maybe bigger, but Chestnut wasn't scared, instead it began to expel a black and red aura. The dragon felt a little nervous but he started attacking more. The claws barely kept up with the chestnut, rather than having a knife in his hand. With great speed towards the dragon, making quick and deep cuts towards the dragon, no matter how fast the dragon was, it did not exceed the speed of the chestnut, and once or twice it gave strong blows to the body. A while passed, the dragon could not stand so many cuts anymore and was bleeding very quickly. The dragon had no choice but to retreat quickly. After that, he checked on the dragon he had cured not long ago, but she was no longer there. He felt confused, but oh well. But somewhere else there was a dragon with a blush. Because of how that brown-haired girl had behaved, she had already awakened something inside her. While the chestnut had gotten his familiar. A dark tiger, black and purple like the night itself, who knows why he is familiar, got the chestnut. But well, everyone from the occult club returned and Chestnut always went to work while the Hyoudou sisters and Asia returned home. After that, 2 days had passed as usual, since on the last day he received a visit from someone he hadn't expected in a long time. Hyoudou House. At the door of the house was a chestnut tree who was tired of working and the extra hours he had to stay. He arrived all sore and tired. This was common for him, his mother, and his sisters, who always arrived at that time some days. Now his new tenant was preparing dinner for the 5 of them since both his mother and Asia were expecting him for dinner. After his dinner, he went up to bathe and after that to his room, to read or get information from his companion about the new world he was immersed in, but something took him out of his thoughts. That was a circle of the Gremory house. Issei, who could it be? From the circle I see a red-headed girl who was Rias Gremory. Issei, Butcho, what are you doing here? Rias, Issei, I can trust you. Issei, of course, President, you can trust me absolutely. Rias, thanks Issei. Issei, you're welcome. Well, tell me your problem, President. Rias, Well, it's because of a matter I have. Thus began the conversation about the problems he had with Razor and his engagement. Chestnut just nodded, but inside something changed within him. Something awoke, and he said how they wanted to marry someone by force without their knowledge. That was something unforgiving. Thus he finished telling his story. Rias, and that's my problem, Issei. Issei, I think it's horrible to marry someone like that, without knowing the person. Rias, if it's true, I told the council about the situation, but they didn't listen to me, in tears. I couldn't bear to be married to such a cruel man. Chestnut couldn't bear to see the girl cry like that. Without thinking, he hugged her by the waist to relieve her pain. He couldn't leave her like that. He had to give her all his support, and he would have to resolve the issues against that person who was forcing her to carry that weight of thinking about how horrible it felt to be by his side. Issei, calm down, Rias. I'm here, don't worry. I'll finish off anyone who tries to hurt her. Rias, Issei, saying this with a little tears from the previous and a little blush. Issei's sad face still hugging her. Don't worry, President. I know what it feels like to be betrayed and no one helped me except my mother and my brothers. It's a pain and it burns your life. That's why I want to help you so that you are not forced to marry someone who doesn't love you as you are. Rias, thanks, Issei. Graphic, Miss Rias, what are you doing with this young man? He knows that you have a commitment to Razor Phoenix, and what would your brother say about this? Rias, I can do whatever I want with my life and I'm a little sad about this, and my pawn was helping me and I'm going to let you insult my pawn. I don't care that you're my brother's queen. Issei, sorry, he has a brother, Rias. Rias, yes. Greyfield, well then it's a pleasure to meet you. Issei, same, but in his mind, what a pretty girl. I hope they don't notice. Forgive me for being so bold, but can I ask for something? Spelling, say. Issei, if I may ask that Rias stay here for the night so that she doesn't feel worried about what's coming tomorrow. Rias, Issei. Those words surprised the redhead, and also awakened a feeling in her. Spelling, excuse me, but you can't leave the lady with a stranger, and it might even be dangerous. Issei, I can swear on the most sacred thing I have, which is my mother and brothers, that I will not do anything bad to my mistress, and if I do, I will receive any punishment, even death. Greyfield, what a brave boy to ask for that. I hope it doesn't hurt you, and leaving that, what a handsome boy. Well, fine, but be very careful. Just to clarify again, Spelling is not Search's wife. Issei, thank you. In this writing disappears when it no longer disappears. You throw yourself at the chestnut tree and hug him to thank him. Rias, thank you. Issei, thank you. Issei, you're welcome. Besides, you're my master, so it's not my duty. Issei, well, I guess he'll be here in my room, so we should go to sleep, right? Issei, you must be hungry too. I'll get you something right now. Rias, thank you. Everything was going well after Issei offered him some soup and that he would sleep. He offered him a shirt of his and some boxers to sleep in. The two went to sleep, but someone took advantage of the opportunity. Rias, Issei, can I ask you something? Issei, tell me, President, what do you need? Rias, if you can accompany me to sleep. Issei, what? Rias, why are you shouting? Issei, it's what he asked for. Rias, maybe you can't or don't want to be here with me. Issei, yes, I want to, but I don't want to make her uncomfortable because we are of different ranks. Besides, you are my master and I promised her that I wouldn't do anything against you. Rias, don't worry about anything. I want to be close to you for a while. I feel comfortable by your side and I won't say anything if that worries you, now that your mistress ordered you to come and hug me. Issei, okay. Issei gets on nervously but no longer lies down on his bed. Rias approaches and climbs on top of him, lying on his chest. Issei, President, what are you doing? Rias, don't you see, I'm lying down in a special place. How comfortable, the redhead curled up. Issei, but why does he say it's a special place? He had been nervous that a beautiful girl would be like that with him since that fateful moment for him. Rias, because when you hugged me I felt like I could be calm and safe in your arms, that's why. Issei, if that's right, well, good night. Rias, good evening. Issei, good night. Issei, having Rias on top of him, covered her and fell asleep, but while Rias fell asleep, Issei was thinking. He kept thinking about that day where everything had collapsed for him and he sealed his feelings in the deepest part of his being, but having the redhead with him, feeling the scent of a girl, had begun to slowly destroy and recompose the seal. The next morning continued normally except for one thing. Chestnut had gotten up and thought that what happened last night had been a dream, but it wasn't real. Issei, why does my body feel heavy? Issei uncovered the blanket and found a sleeping Rias. Issei, blushing, it's true, yesterday Rias asked me to sleep with her, but how cute she looks asleep like that, but he felt her move. Rias, good morning Issei. Issei, good morning, President. Rias, thank you for letting me stay overnight at your house. Issei, you're welcome, and by the way, we're going to the academy. Rias, you're right. The girls changed and left the house heading to school. After explaining to their sisters what had happened, the girls felt for what the redhead was going through. Thus the day passed. Upon arrival at the occult hall, all the members of the group were gathered waiting for the arrival of the bird. Rias, I have visited you because... He didn't finish answering when... Suddenly, from a yellow magic circle, a blond man in his 20s appeared with the Phoenix logo, who was the heir to the Phoenix family. Razor, it's been a long time since I visited the human world. I missed you, my beloved Rias. Issei, Razor, looked at the blonde with a figure, not at all friendly, and me sir when he entered the river just by seeing Kiba, that seemed strange to him. A moment passed and Razor was sitting with Rias while Akeno offered him tea. Razor, the queen of Rias's tea was always delicious. Akeno, it's a pleasure. Issei, I just wait a moment, an exact moment, and this man will wish he hadn't made that deal. While Issei was saying this, Razor was caressing Rias's legs, while she gets up. Rias, please leave me alone, I've told you many times that I have no intention of marrying you. Razor, but Rias, I doubt your family will accept this selfish behavior forever. Rias, I don't want to destroy your family, on the contrary, I welcome it, but I decide who to marry. Razor, after the last war, the number of pure-blood demons decreased, and that is the problem that affects all demons. Razor, that's what your father and Sir Shay thought when they made the decision for us to get married. Rias, my father, my brother and my whole family are getting scared. I won't say it again, Razor, I will never marry you. Razor, listen Rias, I am the heir of the Phoenix family, I can't allow this, even if I have to burn all your slaves. Issei, try it and see, I challenge you. Razor, don't talk to me anymore, you damn low-class demon. Issei, oh yeah, you think you're a lot, but I don't think you even know how to fight without being a demon. Graphia, please stop, I'm here for Sershay-sama and for your sake, I won't let anything happen. Graphia, my master told me this would happen, he gave me instructions to carry out a plan in a situation like this. Issei, what would that plan be? Graphia, my master told me that a renting game would be held to fix things. Issei, a renting game? I've heard that before, that's what the student council president said. Kaneko, it is a game similar to chess, in which demons force their slaves to fight each other. Issei, that's why we were reincarnated with a specific piece. Kaneko, yes. Razor, I have played several games and won many, and you not only have experience, but you also don't have all the complete pieces. Akeno, for a renting game, you have to have all the pieces. Issei, we are at a disadvantage. Kaneko, and it's not just that disadvantage. Razor, Rias, to be sure, are they all your slaves? Rias, and so they are. With a snap, 15 girls from the Phoenix group came out, among them was his younger sister, but the looks of those girls seemed sad, something that Chestnut noticed. Issei, has a team of 15 girls, we are at a slight disadvantage. Razor, it seems so, and they are loyal to me, Eubella. At that Razor's queen approaches, at that Razor kisses Eubella, at that he touches Eubella's breasts, but she didn't feel very commanding and this infuriates Issei. Issei, damn you say you're Miss Rias's fiancé and you do this in front of her, you don't deserve to have her and I don't care what you say, you don't deserve her. Rias, and what did the low-class demon tell you to talk to them? Issei, that attitude is what bothers me, and that's why you don't deserve to have Rias. Rias, you won't be able to stop him, you're too weak. Issei, I'll prove it to you. Issei launched himself to attack Rias, who ordered a pawn to stop him, but he dodged him, grabbed his bong, and with 2 fingers of his free hand hit him in a point of the neck where he left him immobilized, and before he could react he already had him grabbed by the neck, lifting him up against the wall. Issei, I told you not to tempt me. Rias, damn me, put me down. Issei, you have to pay for what you're playing with the feelings of a lady like Rias Gremory, and you must die. Rias, you can't, I'm a pure-blood demon, saying this trying to escape from the brown-haired man's grip on his neck. Issei, I don't care about that rank anymore, they are just words, the facts are demonstrated with facts, from the hand I appreciate some magic, but purple, I warned you. Rias, no. Graphifia, no. Issei, hits the wall, leaving a mess, leaving the scared blonde. Be grateful that my mistress has consideration for you. If it were up to me, you would already be in the other world. Rias, I'll see you in a week for this game. I hope you train well, because I won't have mercy. Issei, me neither. The Phoenix and Graphics had retired. Issei turned around and hugged Rias from the front, feeling her hands placed on his chest. Rias, Issei, blushing. Issei, don't worry, I won't let anything happen to you. First they'll have to go over my dead body. Rias, thank you Issei, thank you Issei. She clung more to the brunette's hug. The sisters only saw that scene with a smile since they knew what their brother went through, and apparently she did not have that intention. Kiba had just withdrawn in discomfort from the scene and went to meet with other people. The girls at the club also wanted some of that attention plus a brunette since she knew what was going on. Her mother and father helped her, but it wasn't enough. She needed to feel the feeling of being loved. Chapter 8. Training and a little of the truth? After the meeting with the Phoenix, they went to train at Rias Gremory's house. They got to work, starting training from the very beginning. The entire occult club group was there except for Kiba and Rias's knight, who was absent. Although Rias had asked him to go with them, he said he had something pending and couldn't go with her. Something that worried the redhead, but Chestnut knew that something like this would happen, but he had promised the redhead that he would give double the efforts so that she would emerge victorious and have her freedom. The redhead, upon hearing Cataniel's words, recovered her emotions and hugged the brown-haired man for his support, and also the ones who were there were the brown-haired man's sisters, who watched the redhead's interaction with her brother. On the brunette's face, an expression or emotion can be seen that hadn't appeared for many years. In the girl's eyes, it was a sign that he was already returning to being a bit like his old self. And at the Chestnut's request, I asked that he could take them just so they could train a little in their skills, although they would not participate in the ranting game, but they would help them so they could be allies later on, but for the moment they would only train. Kaneko trained to increase her strength. Akeno was teaching the Hyoudou sisters and Asia was training in the use of magic. Rias in learning war tactics, of course, with a little help from the Chestnut, who had several knowledge of strategic tactics of the greatest generals and strategists of all civilizations. After helping the redhead with some advice, he headed to where Akeno and the others were. Issei, Akeno-san, can I ask you a small favor? Akeno, yes. Issei, could you help me control the concentration of magic? Akeno, yes, I would love to help my Kohai. Issei, thank you. Issei and Akeno go to train in a part near the house so as not to disturb the others. Akeno, to control or acquire magical abilities you must think of an image, and that will be reflected in your magic. Concentrate all your energy in the palm of your hand. Issei, well, he imagined a blaze of fire. And from the Chestnut's hand came a ball of fire. Issei, so that's how magic is used. Akeno, yes, that's how it's used. Anything else you want? Issei, no, nothing. Akeno, thank you very much for the help. Chestnut left the location to go somewhere else to think and practice a little magic. Something that the brunette didn't realize was that the brunette's expression showed a serious face since she knew that it was another weapon in her favor, after the incident of that dark night. Elsewhere was Chestnut with a serious expression. Issei, let's try it combined. The chestnut imagined a black cloud, and the chestnut's body had been dyed a black and purple color around his body. Issei, now yes. Issei, yes, it's been a long time since I could feel this. The ball of destruction left such a powerful and deep crack in the mountain. After that slight blow, the chestnut's condition made him kneel due to such effort and the decline of his energy. Issei, it has changed. I didn't expect such a sudden change. I must get used to my new abilities a little. For the moment I won't use it. Finishing his sentence, he touched his right arm. Some bandages had covered a power that the wearer had hidden. But the question was, what was that power? It was part of the 5th day. It was night. The chestnut had gone down to the kitchen to get a glass of water. When he came out, he met the redhead. Issei, oh, President, what are you doing here at this hour? Rias, just in time, let's talk a little. Issei, are they war plans? Rias, yes, although making them as a manual is a bit useless. Issei, not at all, it's a more useful way to gather information, and even at night he keeps trying. Rias, but our opponent is Phoenix, I'm sure you know, it's a fierce and immortal bird. Rias, in addition to being a demon, he carries the mark of a beast, he represents 2 pillars and his 2 spiritual powers are acclaimed by both, he is immortal. Issei, an immortal, with that bird he can't die. I didn't expect anything less from that braggart. Even though he is an immortal, he has some more qualities at his disposal. Rias, yes, it is invulnerable, it has always been attacked, it has generated itself. The razor regeneration is fast, and that gives it an advantage. Rias, but it is also a disadvantage for him, since many clans have sought to join him, but so far he has not lost. When he participated in the Riot games, his slaves multiplied rapidly and formed a barrier for him. Issei, I'm sorry. Rias, why? Issei, I provoked Razor. If it weren't for me provoking him, we wouldn't be fighting him. Rias, don't say that. In fact, I should thank you for rushing it. My dad and the others arranged this game knowing that I would lose in chess vocabulary. Issei, a deception. Rias, that's right. Issei, why do you have to marry someone you don't want? I know that the higher-ups can dictate it, but at least you should marry someone you want or not. Rias, you see, I am a daughter of Gremry. No matter where I am not Rias. I am always the Gremry clan, which means that what happens to me happens to my clan. Rias, it's a matter of personal pride, but if I were to get married I would like to do it as Rias, not as a daughter of Gremry. I want to be with someone who loves me, not my family. Rias, maybe it's hypocritical of me, but I want that little dream to come true. Issei, maybe in the future your dream can come true, President, that if we get out of this fight, you can find someone who loves you with all their soul, who adores you just as you are, with your flaws, and most importantly who loves you as a person, not as a way to obtain a title or money or as a sexual object, however. Rias, however that. Issei, forget nothing. Rias, since you're here, let's talk for a bit of distraction. Issei, okay. The chestnut sat on a step of that pantheon. Issei, however, you may find that special person and have better luck than me. Rias, why do you say that? Issei, before all this I dreamed like you, of finding someone, a person who would love me, who would be with me for life. But life taught me that sooner or later that is practically a dream, or naive as I fell into the hazards of destiny. I learned in the worst way that love is a feeling, a double-edged sword, knowing how to choose. How it can help you, how it can harm and hurt you, and that you be deceived in your own face. Rias, yes, I understand. Issei, it seems that some of us have a rather confusing and painful destiny, don't you think so? Issei, yes, you are right, but some of us can change the destiny of some people with the help of others, isn't that right, President? Rias, you're right, but sometimes you have to go as planned or not. Issei, that's right, just as you once helped me see my path. I promise you that I will do everything possible to save you from that marriage. Rias, really, Issei? Issei, yes, I will help her as much as I can, for what she did to give me a second chance at life. The brunette said goodbye to the redhead and proceeded to go to his room, where images came to his mind of a very special person for him, where he confided all his feelings to her, practically gave his life into her hands, and that she practically destroyed him, that innocent face was only the most unpleasant for the true demon underneath. Chapter 9: Fight between the Gremry entourage and the Phoenix entourage. In the occult club everyone was calm, but above all it was Chestnut, who thought, analyzed, and above all remained calm, calming the desire for the fight. The president was also thinking about freedom and a feeling she had lost a long time ago, and she would have to find out if what she felt for her was true, or just a bad trick of life. That serious and determined look, like the look of a lion, that look that would frighten his enemies. They left their thoughts when Sona, good night, Rias. Rias, good night, Sona. Sona, apparently they are ready. Issei, good evening, what are you doing here, Kaicho? Rias, well, the game rating is monitored by another clan, they monitor ours. Issei, I see. Sona, we volunteered to be the first game of Rias. Spelling, this list you will read Sama. Rias, yes. Spell, when it's time to begin, this magic circle will take you to the battlefield. Rias, it's okay. Sona, okay, we're leaving, see you later. The magic circle was ready, back to another showdown. The members of the occult club had entered the magic circle. Already in the other dimension nothing had changed, then they heard a voice. Graphics. Welcome to the Gremry and Phoenix clans, I am the maid of the Gremry clan. Graphics. This field was created for the advantages of Rias-sama and Razor-sama. Graphic. The places where their base was transported. The Rias-sama base is the old school building where the occult club attends. Graphic. Razor-sama's base is the new school building, in the commissioner's office. Graph. If a pawn reaches the base, he or she can be promoted. Rias hands them a small magic circle. Rias, well, with this we will communicate. Rias, well, the first move is that we take the gym. Issei, you're right, Rias, if we take the gym we can come and go to bring information as well as protect the area around the club. Rias, you're right. Issei, whoever has control of the gym will have control of the entire playing field, being the center in chess terms. What do you suggest, President? Rias, I think a rook would be better than a knight in this area. Also, as you said, Issei, we have to protect our front line. Kaneko, Kiba set traps in the forest. Then Kaneko takes out her familiar along with Kiba and they leave. Issei, it seems I will also help. The chestnut tree summoned his familiar, the dark tiger. Issei, go and set traps. Rias, that familiar is very useful. Issei, true that, yes. Rias, well, that's right. Akeno put some spells in the forest, and put some in the sky. Akeno, hello, President. Rias, Kaneko, and Issei go to the gym. Kuroka, it's okay, Rias. The two had gone, the base was secure, and soon the relatives would come to inform the president of the movements. They were already in the gym, they had found the razor rook and 3 pawns. Kaneko had taken care of the razor tower, just as Issei took care of his opponents to take out the twins using Draig's gauntlet. They had already left the gym while Kiba had defeated the still pawn, and the voice was heard. Graphic, the knight of Rias Jiri, has been retired. The chestnut tree wondered why that knight had come out so early without even having fought with any other enemy. Something was wrong, the chestnut tree didn't like that one. While they were leaving Kaneko, the Razor Queen shot Kaneko, taking her out of the fight. And again it was announced. Graphic, a tower of Rias Gremry has retreated. While Akeno was fighting with the Razor Queen. While riding he announced the departure of the Razor's Rook and the departure of the 3 Razor Pawns. Chestnut took care of the Riser Knights, his Rook, 5 Riser Pawns. While watching Akeno's explosion with the Queen, Akeno's departure was announced. Graphics, Rias Gremry's Queen has come out. In Castano, that information took him to his limit. He gathered all his power, and with a single powerful lightning bolt and blast, he took out all the pieces of Riser. Spelling, 5 pawns, 1 rook, 2 knights and 1 Riser bishop have been eliminated. That exhausted the chestnut-haired boy's strength, but he didn't realize that from outside that dimension, someone had thrown 2 darts directly at his neck. This weakened him even further, but he did not give up. He kept going and didn't think about giving up. He climbed to the roof of the occult club. Issei, now if Razor Phoenix, it is your turn to fall. Rias, Issei. Asia, Issei-san. Issei, calm down, I'll fight him. Chestnut was so staggering from physical fatigue and the darts that had come out, he didn't say anything about it, thinking it was part of the game. And he launched himself against the Phoenix. The fight between the immortal Phoenix and the Security Issei Hyoudou began. The blonde had thrown fireballs at the brunette, some of which he dodged and others were able to graze his body, just as he fought face to face with the blonde, leaving him with several broken things and some quite damaging wounds. What the brown-haired man didn't know was that those darts contained something that was weakening him to the point that he took a wrong step and the blonde took advantage of it. All hurt, but he started hitting the brown-haired man. But something that bothered him was that look. But what bothered him most were those eyes full of fury and desire for perseverance through the same gaze of a predator, without any fear, even of death. Razor, you'll die for that. Rias, stop, Razor, I give up. Rias rushed to stop Razor before Chestnut got hurt worse than he already was. Graphics. The winner of this game is Razor Phoenix. Chapter 10: The fight between the Phoenix and the Pawn. It was already night. The moon was shining through that window. On the bed lay a chestnut tree who gave his all to free a red-haired girl who for some reason made that weak and cold heart beat again. That girl made that warrior who lost that feeling years ago. Time gave him the reason to regain that happiness of a pure gold. Chestnut got up and saw that she was in her bed, somewhat hurt from the fight with Phoenix. But he felt so bad and sad because he couldn't save her, although he noticed that 2 stitches had appeared on her neck. Those were the darts that were thrown from outside the dome. It wasn't long before the door opened and the Hyoudou sisters appeared and jumped up to hug the brown-haired boy. Isara, thank you brother, you're okay. Izumi, when we saw you, we felt bad. Issei, yes I know, and tell me what happened. Izumi, Butcho Rias gave up when that blonde was trying to kill you. Isara, yes, she told us to take care of you and tell you that the moments with you were the happiest. Issei couldn't bear to know that that girl felt that way, and moreover that they were his happiest moments. When he saw those beautiful eyes, his blood boiled, his heart began to beat strongly after being so long without beating that way. Anger and the desire to kill ran through his veins. Issei, thanks girls, I know I did my best to save her. Izumi, that's not true. Isara, yes I know you can do more, that's not my brother that I know. Issei, but... Izumi, brother, don't feel that way, we know what happened to her. That word from her made me shed a few tears. That person who hurt and locked up and destroyed that person who was before that chestnut and became the cold person, but... Isara, but brother, we know she loves you, those words are proof that she loves you. Izumi, yes, Rias Butcho has felt that way with you, and don't lie, that heart has already started beating. Isara, yes, every time you are with her, you feel happier and she gives you back your life. Issei, yes I know, but... Izumi, no buts, it's time for you to also feel that happiness you haven't felt in years. He was talking to his brother when a silver-haired woman appeared. Graphia, it seems you've already woken up. Issei, Graphia-san, what are you doing here? Graphia, I came on Circe Lucifer's orders. Issei, and what does mine want? Graphia, he told me to give this to you. Graphia, it is a magic circle that will teleport to the party. He took the paper and wrote it down. Graphia, and he also told me to tell you. If you want to get my sister back, use this and attack the place. I know they attacked you outside the conditions of the game, Mouse. Graphia, it is your decision. And it was in a magic circle. Isara, well brother, go for the girl who brought back your smile. Izumi, yes, let's go and save Rias Butcho and bring her back. Issei, thanks for the support. The Chestnut sisters left. Issei, do you hear me, Red Emperor? Draig, yeah, what do you want, buddy? Issei, let's make a deal. Suddenly he felt his blood boiling, and it was true that his beloved was going to marry a cheater and bastard who only sees women as pieces of meat, and adding to that, what made those beautiful eyes shed tears, that would cost him dearly, and he would wish he had gotten involved and made his beloved cry. In the underworld. In a room, Etsana was waiting for the couple to arrive, while in another place, a redhead was getting ready to go out. And suddenly that big bird appeared. Maid, Razor-sama can't come in here. Razor, don't be so strict, I'm the star of the night, or is it true that the fiancé is the star? Rias, I'm not your fiancé yet, and this dress. Razor, it's perfect, it's to show the relationship between the Phoenix and Gremory families. Don't worry, the dress for the ceremony will be decorated with wings of fire. Rias, what a horrible taste, just what I expected from such a pretentious family. Rias would remember the moments with Chestnut, how she felt warmth in his arms, she felt protected, loved, a happiness as well as many other feelings. Just like when she is in an embrace, she felt the slight palpitations of the chestnut's heart. What would have happened, she would never know. Rias, maybe I will never be able to discover your secrets, my Issei. We will never be together. Maid, your sama, it's time? I'll shorten the wedding part. Just as you were about to appear, someone broke the door. Rias, Issei. Issei Butcho. Razor, great, what do you want? Issei, I am Issei Hyoudou, member of the Ko Academy Occult Club, and I come for the freedom of Rias Gremory. Razor, what? How dare you? Guards, arrest him. The guards were going to catch the brown-haired boy. The girls Akeno and Kaneko were going to move when in a blink of an eye the brown-haired boy was in front of the guards and they were lying on the floor. But something in the brown-haired boy's eyes changed. That look was not the usual one. This look, his eyes are bloodshot. With a look full of bloodlust, with a single intention to finish off the target. Issei, oh, I'm also here for this. A pair of brown darts with the phoenix symbol. Issei, harassment, they are not yours. Tell me, Razor Phoenix, these darts are not yours. Razor is nervous and furious because he was discovered and the darts did not hit the target. Then King Lucifer, known as Khaos Siskan Khaos, appeared, along with Graphy and another woman dressed in white with silver hair. Sir, it's a little show I prepared. Rias, Oni-sama. Issei, then he is. Sir Lucifer-sama. Issei, he is the Demon King. He bowed in respect to King Lucifer. Sir, come on, Red Emperor, get up. Issei, yes. Razor, Sir sama, what do you mean by that? Sir Razor-kun, it was very interesting to see in ranting game, but against my younger sister who had no experience, and also had half the pieces, and with the fact of 2 darts thrown outside the dome with the phoenix symbol. Razor, do you have any complaints? Sir, if I had it, you wouldn't be in that position just for using those darts. The ranting wind would have ended, adding to that the circumstances they were in. Well, my former family would be dishonored. Sir, but I wanted something more exciting for my sister's party, you and the boy over there. I want to see with my own eyes the dragon power you possess, so I asked Graphy to arrange this. Razor, I see then. Sir, Dragon versus Phoenix, a confrontation between the possessors of legendary powers. This will get interesting. Razor, I expected nothing less from the Demon King. It's a great idea. Sir, Dragon Boy. Issei, yes. Sir, would you like to show us nobles your power again? Issei, yes. Rias, Issei, no. Razor, it will be my last battle before I become a married man. Sir, well, Dragon Boy, what do you want as a reward if you win? Sir, sama does not need to reward a low-level demon. Sir, either way he's a demon. We're asking him for a favor, Asia. We should give him a fair reward. What do you want? Nobility. A beautiful woman. He can choose anything. Issei, I want Rias Gremory's freedom. Sir, then let the game begin. Issei, this encounter will be quick. Razor, I'll shut that insolent mouth. Issei, we'll see about that. Issei, still a little hurt from the beating, went to give him battle, and of course the Phoenix, all arrogant, started throwing flames at him. Issei, weak flames won't be able to touch me, come and fight like a man. Razor, damn. Issei, let's go Draig. Draig, yes, partner. Issei, shines over boost. Draig, Welsh dragon over boost. Issei, this is the power of the Dragon Emperor Balance Breaker, boosted gear scale male. Rias, Balance Breaker, a forbidden move. Issei, what is the power of the Red Emperor? You will pay for everything, damn it. We'll see. The fight in the air with magic, but no one retreated, but something in the chestnut was passing a power apart from the power of the Security. Another appeared. A blow that sent the damn phoenix to the canvas. Razor, someone as pathetic as you can't beat me. Issei, that's what you think. Issei, Draig deactivates my armor, I'll give him a taste. Nobody plays with me and nobody messes with my family. Draig, if you know he is the phoenix, the bearer of a legendary power. Issei, I know, but let's test that name. Draig, whatever you say. The Draig deactivated the armor, exposing the chestnut, or so they thought. Razor, what are you doing? You'll be at my mercy to kill you. Issei, we'll see about that, I'll give you a lesson you won't forget. Razor, I'll shut your mouth. The phoenix launched itself towards the chestnut tree and the chestnut tree remained calm, but a dark power was springing from it. The aura it gave off was threatening, although small, the color was purple and black and a bit of blood red. When the blonde arrived, the brown-haired man bent down and hit him in the stomach, drawing blood. Making him step back, making fear take over him, and the chestnut didn't hold back. The powers were no longer useful, his generation of phoenix no longer counted, everything the blonde had was no longer useful now. It was in enemy territory, in the brunette's territory, and surely he would not let him escape until he paid drop by drop of his beloved's tears. Razor, you can't do that. When he received a punch in the face. Issei, what can I hear? I told you you'll pay for everything. The kicking attack was already about to give him the final blows so that he would never make his family cry again. And he returned to his armor and delivered a couple of blows of energy from the Red Emperor against the wall of the battlefield, and they passed through the body of the phoenix. Apart from that, he could barely stand. The bird's scared face was something no one could believe. Issei, this is for cheating. And there the immortal phoenix was left. The invincible phoenix was defeated at the hands of a low-class demon. What a pathetic defeat. Issei, that was for making Rias cry, now I'll make you pay. Issei went towards the blonde, taking out a weapon. A sword who was on the ground made a noise, causing the phoenix to get scared. Razor couldn't stand, and fear flooded him now as he looked at the brown-haired man. Razor, mercy. Issei, mercy, you don't deserve it anymore. I grabbed the bird's head and with the sword with the phoenix's arm. The blonde could only writhe in pain. Issei, just like you wanted to do to me, I'll return it to you. I raised my sword when someone interfered. Ravel, please don't do anything to my Oni-sama, he's already learned his lesson. Issei, it's okay, I hope he appreciates the favor that a beautiful young woman who saved his life is doing. Ravel, yes. Issei, oh, if he bothers someone close to me again, I don't promise I'll let him live. The ground of the field vanished, the little bird was carried by his brother, while the chestnut still with strength spread his wings, who found Kaneko and Akeno in the sky but did not see Kiba. Kaneko, good job Issei-senpai. Akeno, you did well. Issei, thank you. The chestnut saw how the red-haired girl approached and caught her, hugging her protectively and holding her in his arms. He would not allow anyone to separate her from him, while they shed a few tears on his somewhat cut shirt. Rias, thank you Issei, thank you my Issei. Issei, there's nothing to worry about, I'm already here. The two went down to the ground while a tap appeared with the paper they had given him, and that excited the brown-haired boy. Issei, wow, look, we have a griffin, while petting that majestic animal. Rias, it seems you like taps. Issei, I would be lying to you if I said no, I like these mythological creatures. Akeno, why don't Issei escort the president back home? Issei, of course, only if she accepts. Rias, of course. And the two of them went on the tap in the sky of the underworld in the heavens while the two escaped as a couple. Issei thinking that if she didn't want to be with him when he felt a hand run down his cheek. Issei Bucho. Rias, you're a fool to lose your arm for someone like me. Issei, it was a good deal and I was able to come save you. Rias, maybe this time it was cancelled, but a new proposal could arrive at any moment. Issei, don't worry, I'll sacrifice anything to come save you and keep you by my side. While blushing at the Gremory. Issei, because I am Rias Gremory's pawn. Rias surprised the brunette, while she gave him all her sincere love in that kiss. Issei, and that kiss. Rias leaned on his chest and said, Rias, it's to show you that I love you very much, that my life by your side is better than any treasure in this life. Being by your side is like being in paradise in life, it's like dreaming. Issei couldn't take it anymore and shed a few tears, which the redhead noticed. Rias, don't cry anymore, Issei, I'm here and I'll be there with you through thick and thin. Issei, thank you, Rias, but would you accept to be with me? Rias, yes, I agree to be with you, I will be your partner. Issei, thanks, Rias. He hugged her with all his might while he was in heaven. And she clung closer to that hug that showed love while still worried that her heart was beating a little weakly. They arrived at the club and from there to the chestnut's room, who still had some injuries. Rias, that looks serious, I'm going to cure you with magic. Before you could laugh and do that, he stopped her. Issei, since we're boyfriend and girlfriend, I want you to cure me like a girl cures her lover, with cotton and alcohol. She understood. While he had his entire torso naked, she blushed and delicately cleaned and cured her beloved in the old-fashioned way. Issei, thank you. Rias, you're welcome, that's why I'm your girlfriend. I hugged the chestnut tree from behind. Rias, and Issei, can I ask you a favor? Issei, yes. Rias, I can change, this dress is not for being near the man who saved me. Issei, you know that's what I was going to tell you. Rias undressed and put on a brown shirt. While she buttoned the shirt, he hugged her from behind and said, Issei, thank you for accepting me, you don't know how happy I am. Rias turned around and leaned closer into the hug and mentioned, Rias, I already told you, Issei, that my love for you is greater than anything in the world, and I promise to rescue and rebuild this heart, and I also swear to protect it so that no one can hurt it again. Issei couldn't hold back his tears and strength and fell on his knees with tears in his eyes. Issei, thank you, my dear, thank you for saying those beautiful words, you don't know when I've been waiting to feel like that again. Rias lifted the brown-haired man's face, gave him a deep kiss, gave him a look that was for him, and said, Rias, don't worry, Issei, I promise to be with you in this life and the next, and I won't let anyone hurt you. Issei stood up and hugged Rias. Rias, come on, Issei, let's rest. Rias and Issei laid down. He had Rias in his right arm and using her arm and chest as a pillow. At the time she fell asleep while he was awake, while his arm was around her waist, and he thought, Issei, apparently that feeling came back again. I hope I'm not wrong in trusting again. Draig, I assure you, my friend, the Gremory girl is showing you sincere love, so I think you can trust her now, my friend. Issei, thanks, Draig, thanks for advising me and tell me. Draig, and I don't think she's the only one who's like this with you. Issei, why do you say that? Draig, I only know that later on, more girls will be with you and they will be the ones who protect you. Issei, so there will be more. Well, I'm going to sleep. Draig, see you tomorrow, buddy. While the chestnut slept peacefully with his redhead, the dragon remained thinking. Draig, if the girls who will be by your side will be your wall that will make the cause of your distress suffer, who will they be? And I bet your life will be full of emotions and your feelings and emotions will be in their care. Chapter 11, A new beginning for the warrior and science. Morning was present. The sun entered several windows of the land of the rising sun. In the Kwa region, the sun entered the room of a house. More specifically, in the house of the Hyoudou family, where in a room a chestnut tree was lying on a bed with his top half off, while sleeping next to him. To a beautiful girl, a girl who made that cold-hearted young man beat again, that red-haired girl was peacefully sleeping next to him, while she hugged him and rested her head on that boy's shoulder. If that couple of lovebirds who were sleeping was Issei, Hyoudou, and Rias Gremory, who not long ago, under the moonlight, each escaped riding a griffin and left the underworld, heading to the chestnut tree house, where the Crimson Maiden had cured her savior of that forced marriage. That young brown-haired boy who gave everything he had to rescue her and be in her arms. And under that same moon, the two told each other their feelings for each other. Where that young chestnut tree had a secret inside him that he hid, but few people knew about that secret. But that redhead who came into his life, someone who would make that weak heart beat again, and she wouldn't be the only one. Returning to the couple, the two were about to wake up. The two looked at each other. Issei, good morning, Rias. Rias, good morning, Issei-kun. Issei, oh that. Rias, what, I can't call you that. Issei, of course, my princess. The two took the opportunity to give each other a tender kiss when Izami, aha, that's how I wanted to find them. The two of them couldn't blush like Rias's hair, but they knew that it was inevitable. But that was life or not. The two sisters entered the room where they were asking for information about what had happened the day before. Since they received no answers and did not even know when they arrived. Isara, and tell me, brother, did you achieve your goal? Issei, yes sister, I did it, for this here laugh with me. Izumi, and how did the other one turn out? Rias, the other one. Izumi, if you laugh Butcho, her ex-fiancé, I don't think he let her go just like that or not. Rias, you're right about that. Izumi, and then Issei, let's just say he got what he deserved. The two sisters were not satisfied with the answers, but they would talk about it later. Izumi, and then tell me, lovebirds, what are you? Issei, like we are and also like lovebirds. Izumi, I say lovebirds because they are very mushy, they just met and they are already like that, and tell me what they are. Issei, well. He was able to speak since the redhead spoke. Rias, let's just say that I never left my dragon's side. Issei couldn't contain his blush, and the sisters weren't helping much. Isara, I've never seen you like this, brother. Izumi, yes, I think I've already gotten diabetes from his cloying behavior. Issei, hey, respect your brothers. The two just giggled. Isara, but well, I congratulate you, and you'll have to discuss it with Oka-san. Issei, yes, I know. Izumi, but what if they go down and explain to Oka-san? Issei, right now. Izumi, yes, as the saying goes, hurry up when the going gets tough. Issei remained thoughtful, but someone pulled him out of his thoughts. Rias, it's better to listen to your desires, Issei, and I have something to tell your mother. Issei had no choice but to accept. Issei, okay, but it will be my way. They both understood. Issei, and I remind you not to spill the beans, you heard about this. He had no answers. Issei, if they release some information, you know what happens. Izumi, it's okay, brother, whatever you say. The two of them left. Rias asked the brown-haired boy about what happened. Rias, in your own way. Issei, you'll see, it would be better to change so we can be in front of my Oka-san. Issei got out of bed while behind him was Rias getting up little by little. Issei inadvertently turned to look back when he saw an image that made him blush a lot. There was Rias Gremory with the shirt he lent her last night so she could sleep with him. An image that many would kill to see. That image looked like an angel even if she was a demoness. She took advantage of the chestnut's weak moment and approached and pressed herself against his chest. She wrapped her hands around the brown-haired boy's neck and planted a peck on him, taking him by surprise. Rias, why did you stay so static, Issei? Issei, I just stared at how beautiful you are. While his hands surrounded the redhead's waist, pushing her closer to him, feeling the other's contact. Rias, yes, I know, but let's leave this for later and go to your mother's. Issei, okay. The two changed and through a magic circle appeared in front of the house. Rias, because we are in front of the house. Issei, you'll see why. Issei knocked on the door, and in less than a second his mother was in front of him. Mickey, Hello son and dear Rias, what are you doing? Issei, it's just that yesterday I had problems with something and I found Rias in passing. Mom, can we talk about this in the living room? Mickey, yes, let's go in. The chestnut's mother along with the two young men entered the house where the chestnut's sisters, Asia, were already sitting in the living room and now she was sitting. Mickey, okay, now tell me what's going on. Rias, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Izumi, and that something would be. Rias, well, I wanted to know if you, Oka-san, would allow me to stay here with you. That surprised both the Hyoudou family and Asia. Mickey, and why do you want to live with us? Rias, it's just that Issei has done me a huge favor and I preferred to be safe being close to his side. While she leaned on the brown-haired man's shoulder, slightly blushing. Mickey, well, seeing the situation, there is no doubt for me, only Issei's opinion is missing since you are requesting them through him. Issei, well, there's no problem for me. Mickey, well, it's decided, welcome to our home. Rias, thank you for accepting my proposal. Mickey, and thank you for taking care of my son. Rias, believe me, lately he has been the one who has taken care of me. While remembering what had happened. Mickey, stop talking, let's go have breakfast. Issei, okay mom, we'll go in a moment. After the chestnut tree's mother left for the kitchen, the young people stayed talking. Izumi, so that was what you wanted to talk to Oka-san about? Rias, yes, and what do you think? Izumi, well, I can't say anything so there's no problem on my part. Isara, not from either, but later we'll talk about something we have to tell you, but without further ado, welcome to the family. Isara approached Rias and hugged her as did Izumi. Izumi, well, let's hurry, my mom won't be long in serving breakfast. At the table everyone was having breakfast. That family was getting bigger and bigger. First it was Asia and now it was Rias. And those who came, those who will come as time goes by. But they didn't know that or it wasn't time. After finishing eating they went to the academy where it was clear that Issei and Rias were hanging out more than just together. Just like the Chestnut sisters were talking more with the One-san of the academy. Causing the envy of many who watched the scene. Well, it was the beginning of a beautiful relationship that would face a lot of problems that they would overcome with the help of more girls. After the classes had passed, they had headed towards the chestnut tree's house where the two lovebirds had previously escaped from the sight of the others. On their escape they went to other places. For example, to the shopping center where they bought ice cream. She had strawberries with chocolate, and he had meat and chocolate. The two holding hands went through many places. Enjoying the moments that were passing after the fall of the phoenix. It was already getting dark and the brown-haired man spoke. Issei, what a beautiful evening, you wouldn't believe it. Rias, yes, more so if I'm with you. Issei, well, I have to go. Rias, where to? Issei, to my work, but I will reward you later. Rias, it's okay. The two said goodbye with a kiss as he went to work and she went to her new home. Time was present, night took place, the streets were covered by the veils of the intense night, and the brightness of the light of the stars and the moon. There he stood, static, just looking up at the moon. Thinking various thoughts and phrases passed through his mind. Issei, how long has it been now? They were the only words that came out of his mouth. And he continued on his way, he was absorbed in his thoughts when he received the call from Rias. Issei headed where the redhead had said. Upon arriving at the place, he met the entire Rias entourage and her sisters who wanted to see how they destroyed the renegades. Issei, if you laugh, tell me why you called me. Rias, we were tasked with defeating a rogue demon, I hope it didn't slow you down in your work. Issei, don't worry, I was already done, and you still owed me this. I take Rias by the waist and kiss her on the lips, taking her by surprise. Rias, Baka, why are you doing that? Issei, I can't do it. Rias, yes, but we'll talk later. It would be better if you went after that renegade demon. Issei, and what will I get as a reward? Rias, I don't know, a kiss at the end. Issei, understood. Akeno, Era, don't act so much like a couple. Issei, well, let's defeat him. Issei, Kaneko, Kiba and Asia were inside watching where they were, while outside Rias, her queen Akeno and the Hyoudou sisters. Inside was the renegade demon while the others fought. Only Kiba stood there doing nothing. Issei, come on, pretty boy, are you going to fight or not? The blonde with an angry face accepted, and in a few cuts and with one that the renegade demon had made, he hurt the blonde and had left the house. While he took out the demon, the only good one, almost with the help of Kaneko, sent the renegade demon out of the facilities. While laughing, the devil sent him to the other world. The chestnut tree was left wondering where the blonde with the pretty face was. Issei, sorry, where was Kiba? Rias, I didn't see him, I thought he was with you. Issei, I didn't see him come out in the middle of the battle. Rias, well, it hasn't come out here. That left the brown-haired boy very thoughtful. More than just a few blows and a scratch from the monster did the blonde defeat him, or worse yet, he was just pretending. These were the things that made him thinking that this pretty boy was planning something against his mistress, in this case with Rias, the girl who was with Chestnut. But well, it was just superstition or not. Chapter 12: The Arrival of the Church's Envoys. Another morning in the city of Kwa, more than that morning was special for a chestnut tree, who long ago became the boyfriend of a beautiful woman. And they were already sleeping together since she was the one who said she wanted to be with him that way. Issei, Rias, we must get ready to go to the academy. Rias, okay my Issei. They went down to have breakfast with Asia and the chestnut tree's sisters and Issei's mother. Rias, Okasan, we're having a club meeting here, will there be any problem? Mickey, no. Issei, why are you here? Rias, the annual cleaning will be done in the building, so we won't be able to hold our regular meeting there. The two went to the academy as always, but this time it would be different. This time he was with Rias. He was walking while he was hugging Rias Gremory by the waist while she leaned on his shoulder looking like a maiden in love. While his sisters only looked at the interaction they had and were happy for their brother and that the problem of the past is behind them and oblivion took away the memories. The two, very friendly, entered where the comments were not long in coming. On the part of the boys, they were envious when they found out that he was dating the most beautiful girl in the academy, and they also felt proud that she now belonged to him, and only him. The dragon instinct was beginning to blossom, but well, also on the part of the girls at the academy. Issei, well, see you, love. Rias, see you later, darling. Rias put her hands on Issei's neck and kissed her on the lips. It left Issei in shock, but hey, he didn't dislike that kind of affection. Asia. After that, she only noticed a few glances from the male sector towards her. And the comments were there, even though he didn't care. Returning to Kwa, classes had passed, and it was already time to leave. And the girls from the occult club went to the chestnut's house. Only Rias was grabbing his arm possessively, and on the other side she had Asia hugged by the waist. They all arrived at the chestnut's house. Rias, well, let's start our regular meeting, the redhead said as she sat on the brunette's legs while he hugged her from behind around the waist, and had his chin resting on her shoulder. Rias, this month, we had 11 for Akeno, 10 for Kaneko, 8 for Hyoudou, 3 for Asia. Hyoudou, you're doing very well, Asia. Rias, and as for Issei, he has 20 contracts, she said it with a smile. Issei, thank you, I will continue like this, my president. Issei, thinking, it's because those contracts needed another type of agreement. In addition to some training and knowing how to conquer someone deserves something from someone who has experience. When Mickey came in. Mickey, sorry to interrupt your meeting, but I brought you some snacks. Akeno wouldn't have bothered. Issei seeing what his mother had in her hands. Issei, this can't be. He saw his mother with the photo album. And something that her sisters were against and in favor of that album, but they could take advantage of this. Mickey, this is his first championship as a child, seeing a photo of a 6-year-old Issei, wearing a karate uniform. Mickey, oh, this is her first photo of just us at the lake, seeing her mother and 2 sisters with a 7-year-old brown-haired boy in a beautiful lake behind them. while looking at a blushing and excited girl. Rias, little Issei, blushing and happy to see photos of her beloved. Asia, I understand how you feel, President. Rias, you feel it too. Kaneko, excuse me Okasan and this photo. A brown-haired man is seen with a girl, both of them 13 years old, hugging each other. The brown-haired man was happy and the girl seemed to be pretending to be happy, only the photograph had an X on the girl's body and had traces of water drops all over the photo, something that oblivion and pain continued in that photo. But they did not know if there was still any trace of that person. Issei, it's nothing important, while covering the photo with his hand. Kiba, she's a good mother. Issei, of course. Kiba, it must be nice to live in a family. Tell me Issei-kun, this photo. Issei, he's an old neighbor, we used to play, they left because they had a job abroad. I don't remember his name, and even less that sort. Kiba, apparently coincidences exist. As it was already night he went to work and after that he received a call from Rias. Issei, renegade demon. Rias, that's right, Asia, Akeno and I will stay outside. Issei, Kaneko and Kiba will lure him outside. There is a president. Issei had taken out his gauntlet, and something that had been given to him in a contract. A knife made of a resistant material. While Kiba is in his thoughts. Rias, Yuto. Kiba had snapped out of his thoughts and drawn his sword. The three of them left, and entered the abandoned building. There was nothing in the place, and suddenly the monster appeared. Kaneko, yes, it's a blessing. Kiba, I'm sorry. The monster threw a liquid, and by instinct Issei pushed Kaneko and recovered the liquid that hurt his arm. Kaneko, thank you, Issei-senpai. Issei, it's not my duty to protect them at all. Kaneko, thank you. Issei, now it's your time, let's go Prince Charming, or are you going to stay watching from there? Kiba. Kiba showed no signs of wanting to cooperate in the mission. It was also the opportunity for the Hyoudou sisters to show their skills, only the brown-haired man got ahead of him by punching the monster. While Akeno received it with the power of lightning, she brought it down so that it fell to the ground. Rias, a disobedient creature who leaves her master and pursues her own desires, deserves punishment for such a sin. In the name of Lord Gremory I will punish you. Throw a power of destruction making that monster disappear. At that moment they hear a slap and they see that Rias slapped Kiba. Rias, let's see if you pay more attention with one more distraction. Someone would have died, she said it would be. Rias, what do you have? Kiba, it's nothing, I just haven't had a good day, excuse me, he said bowing and leaving. Issei saw that and goes towards Kiba. Issei, hey Kiba, are you okay? He said seriously. Kiba, if it's nothing important, he said seriously. Issei, you've been serious since you saw that one, he said seriously. Kiba, it's none of your business, he said seriously. Issei, it's not my business, it's about the president's safety and you're acting like nothing happened, he said seriously. Kiba, as I said, that's none of your business, he said seriously. Issei, okay, go, he said seriously. Kiba was gone and lost in the darkness of the night. Issei just stayed there seriously and returned to the others, still thoughtful about what had happened. In the chestnut's house. Rias, yes, it is a holy sword, but it is light, she said it would be while looking at the photo. Issei, Kiba has been acting like this since he saw this photo, he said seriously. Issei, but the reason is unknown, he said seriously. Rias, I see, she said seriously. So Rias tells him how Kiba was a survivor of the Excalibur project and how she found him on the verge of death. Issei, even so the story doesn't match and that would be a motive, but it's clear from his face that it's not revenge, he said seriously. Rias, well, that's what I saw when I reincarnated him, but something doesn't add up. Well, let's leave it for today and go to sleep. Rias began to undress. Asia, in that case I'll do the same. she said while taking off her clothes. Issei, Asia, you too, he said, blushing. Asia, I'm not going to let Rias in. Get ahead, she said while taking off her. Bruh. Rias, Asia, today I will sleep with Issei, so. Go, she said seriously while crossing her arms. Asia, no, I want to sleep with Issei. I haven't slept with him for a long time, she said, blushing. So both argue, and in the end they pull Issei from one side to another, but in the end the three fell where Issei was on the ground, Rias was on top of his crotch, and Asia was sitting on his face. Issei, he'll be in Largo tonight. At night. In Issei's bed, Maneras was lying down. He had Ria lying on his right side and Asia on her left side, using her arms as a pillow while, instinctively, the brunette's hands passed over the girl's waists while the girls snuggled up to his chest and were hugged by the chestnut. The three had gone to have breakfast and go to the academy. Meanwhile, in the academy there were two girls in ecclesiastical vestments meeting with the president and vice president of the student club. Zenobia, hello. Sona, can you offer them something? Zenobia, if we want to see the president of the occult club. Sona, and what is the reason? Irina, we want to talk about private things with her. Sona, I'll consult with her. Zenobia and Irina, we await your response. In the hall of the occult. The girls were gathered waiting for Akeno. But suddenly. Rias, Akeno, you're already injured. Akeno, yes, President, I brought a company. Sona, hello Rias. Rias, what are you doing here, Sona? Akeno, you have some urgent business with the President. Sona, yes, Rias, you can come with me to my house. No one will interfere there. Rias, it's a delicate matter. Sona, yes, it's something serious. Rias, it's okay. Rias and Akeno along with Sono and Tsubaki leave the club. Thereafter, the Hyoudou brothers along with Asia and Kaneko had retired. Issei, I wonder what would happen. Kaneko, even the student council president was worried. Issei, yes, I noticed it too. I hope it's not a serious problem. Kaneko, that's what I hope. See you soon, Issei-senpai, Asia-senpai, Isara and Izumi-senpai. Isara, we'll connect a little. Inside a spa they were gathered there. They talked about various topics until Rias, and it sounds good why you called me. Sona, this morning I had contact with two people from the church. Akeno, contact? Rias, I haven't seen them in the city for a long time, and what were they looking for? Sona, they were looking to talk to you. Rias, people from the church are looking to talk to a demon? You've got to be kidding. Rias, in any case, this is not good, and you told them well. Sona, except, tomorrow after classes they will visit you. Rias, huh? Sona, however, there is something that worries me. Tsubaki, these two partners had a sacred sword with them. Rias, a holy sword? Two church associates with a holy sword? In this city of all places? Maybe there's a branch of the church in the city? And something in the memory of the redhead came to his mind. The photo of the Hyoudou house. Rias, it could be that. Meanwhile, on the street in front of the Hyouda's house. Issei, wait a moment. Isara, what's up, brother? Issei, I don't know, but there's a strange energy inside the house. Izumi, why do you say that? Issei, it's the same energy when I first stepped into the church and when I met Oka-san. Rias, sorry Sona, I'll have to go. Issei quickly entered, foreseeing that his mother was in danger. But his mother's voice came through, it seemed as if she were laughing. They stealthily approached where they were. In front of her were two girls wearing church cloaks. The chestnut tree saw the conversation. Issei, hello, okay? Mickey, hello, Issei Mira. Irina, it's been a long time, you remember me, right, Issei-kun? Issei, excuse me, where do I know you from? Irina, do you remember this photo when we played as children? He shows her this photo. Issei, So you are Hyoudou Irina, right? Irina, yes. Mickey, how much has she changed, right, Issei? Before she was very masculine, and now I don't recognize her anymore. Irina, yes, at that time I was very masculine, but many things have happened since we separated, right, Issei-kun? Issei, I think so, Irina. Issei knew that something was not right or something was not right. For a long time there had been no one referring to the church, and he knew why. But because that was the question that was asked. She had said goodbye to the girls, and after a while she came to Rias worried about what could happen. Rias, I'm glad you're safe. I was worried. I came prepared for the worst. Issei, there's nothing to worry about. Rias, why do you say that? Issei, it just so happens that the girl who came was an old friend of the family, right? I saw her, yes, you laughed, but what did they want? Rias, we will find out tomorrow, and something that happened. Issei, it's just that they were talking with Oka-san and I managed to make up an excuse, but I think they know we're demons. It was already morning, classes had ended and the occult club where the meeting was approaching Zenobia, thank you for your cooperation, I am Zenobia. Irina, Hyoudou Irina. Rias, why do God's servants come looking for demons? Irina, although it has not been located, the 6 Excalibur swords had been located in 3 divisions of the church, and 3 of them have been stolen by fallen angels. All stolen. Zenobia, the ones we have are these sacred swords of destruction, Excalibur destruction. Irina, and my sacred sword of mimicry, Excalibur mimic. Rias, and what do they want from us? Zenobia, this particular problem is between us and the fallen angels. We cannot face the demons that live in this city. Rias, we see that they are aware of everything. You would think that I would be with the fallen angels to do something to the sacred swords. Zenobia, demons despise holy swords, they are in the same position as fallen angels. Things are getting tense, tempers are heating up, and trouble is about to come. Zenobia, if necessary we will destroy you completely, even if you are Satan's sister. Rias, if you know many, let me tell you something. I would never be on the side of a fallen angel. In the name of the Gremry family I swear that I would never do anything to humiliate Satan. Zenobia, I'm glad to hear that. That's exactly what our headquarters wants to hear. I was sure Satan's sister wouldn't be that stupid. Rias, you were just making sure they weren't against you and your God, right? Zenobia, of course, we just want you not to intervene in this difficult test. Rias, understood. Zenobia, thank you for your time. Rias, they won't stay for a little tea. Zenobia, I'm sorry but we can't make friends with demons. Well, we say goodbye. Zenobia, I've been wondering since I visited Hyoudou Issei's house, are you Asia Argento? Asia, yes. Zenobia, I never thought I'd see a witch here. Irina, so you're the former nun who became a witch? I heard you were exiled because you were a demon and fallen angel, but I didn't know you'd become a demon. Poor Asia stuttered, and the Hyoudou brothers and Issei noticed it. There was something inside him that he didn't know why, but those words were harmful not only to her but to him for another reason. Zenobia, to think that a saint became a demon, nobody is perfect, I guess. Issei, stop it once and for all, you don't know what she went through. There was someone who stopped him. It was little Kaneko. Issei knew he couldn't cause problems that could harm the president, but he couldn't let go of what they were doing to him. Zenobia, do you still believe in our God? Irina, Zenobia, she's a demon. Zenobia, no, some blasphemers feel some guilt and retain a bit of their faith. I can feel that emanating from her. Irina, oh really, hey San, do you still believe in the Lord? Even though he's a demon? Asia, I just can't stop doing it. I believe in him all my life. Zenobia, in that case, we will kill you now. You have committed sins. They will be forgiven by God. I will judge you in the name of God. Rias, that's enough, if you're going to look down on one of my servants. Zenobia, if I'm not looking down on you, this is my duty as a woman of faith. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. In one movement he stood in front of Zenobia, facing the girl. Rias, you don't have to. Issei, you called Asia a witch? Zenobia, it's an appropriate term for her. Issei, you were the first to call her a saint for the work she performed, and the only sin she committed was doing good to a person even if he was a fallen angel. Issei, they never knew anything about her, she was always alone, she had no one, she only had God as a campaign, but because of a single mistake she made they crossed her out. Zenobia, what are you to her? Issei, his family, his friend, his ally, and if you mess with Asia you'll have to go through me. Zenobia, can I consider this a challenge to the entire church? A bold statement for such a weak demon. Issei, I'll just give you one piece of advice. Zenobia, which? Issei, don't trust your opponent. Zenobia, it wouldn't be a disadvantage to fight like that. Issei, just fight, after all, you can fight a weak demon, right? They had gone outside the club and it was already getting dark. This was not easy for the chestnut, his opponents apart from having swords that could kill him, the other reason was that they are women and his dilemma was. A woman should not be touched, not even with a rose petal. Zenobia, well let's start. Akeno, this is really good, should we fight the church's allies on our own will? Rias, this is not an unofficial duel. Zenobia, well we'll do our best not to kill you. Issei, don't make me laugh. Irina, Hyoudou Issei. Issei what? Irina, I can't believe my old friend turned into a demon during our years apart, fate is playing tricks on him to provoke a tragedy. Issei, what is this? Irina, I finally became compatible with carrying a holy sword, I flew over the sea, thinking it could be useful, is this another of the Lord's tests? Issei, lost in her faith. Irina, come Issei-kun, I will use my holy sword to forgive your sins. Irina was the first to attack the brown-haired boy and the gauntlet was activated. And by instinct he dodged Zenovia's attack while with the gauntlet he was able to stop Irina's sword. Irina, what is that gauntlet? Issei, then there will be time for explanations. Now I only thought about how to attack without hurting or being able to hurt. Issei, let's see how agile they are, Queen promotion, let's go Draig. Draig boost, 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 explosion. And with the increase in power, he had an agility that made him almost invisible. Dodging attack after attack from the girls. He was just dodging, but he found a spot where he could catch these girls. On the foot side he had a small dagger. So let's move on. He headed towards Irina with maximum speed that his abilities could give him, and in a moment a light but effective blow to the back of the head, leaving the orange-haired girl unconscious. While dodging, he analyzed the blue-haired girl's blind spot. In a moment of distraction, he was facing her and made a feint with his body, deceiving the blue-haired girl with a dagger in his hand. It was the best option to portray what I want to say. He went after her, grabbed her by the neck and took the hand of the sword, letting it fall while the dagger was at her neck. Issei, and now who is the weak one? The blue-haired girl spoke with difficulty. Zenobia, it's what you want to believe, but... Issei, let's get this over with, the game is over here, get out of here and don't insult my family again, don't threaten them. Releasing the blue-haired girl. Issei, get out of here. Irina had recovered and just stopped to see how he was leaving. Issei, see you Irina, and I hope this ends here and I hope you don't insult my family again. He just turned around and walked into the small trees of the academy, leaving the occult club alone.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.